So I'm tickled and I am ready. Let's do it.
Okay, we live now,
Let's do
y'all. So
it, honey. Let's do it.
welcome to the whether you like it or not reality panel. We have all my people in the building. We have spilling all the tea, aka you're real in the building. We got Niecy Dixon in the building. We got Terrence giving you the real tea in the building. We got Bundy Blue in the building. And we have Josiah's World TV also in the building. Now, for those of you who may notice someone missing, Jamie That's Me could not be here today. She wasn't available for tonight. She had other engagements, but however, we're gonna hold it down for our girl while she's not here today. But without further ado, though, we have someone to sit in for her right now, and she's also another fellow YouTuber by the name of Simply Sakina. So let's give her a warm welcome, make her feel welcome, and people in the comment section, don't start out your shit now. Let you know that tonight, man.
Period.
Take yourself off mute.
Hey, everybody.
All
What's up?
right,
What's
what's going
up?
on?
Hey. I don't know what to
Y'all
Hey,
say.
ready?
girl. Hey, what's tea? What's going down?
I'm just excited to
I
be
believe she
here.
nervous.
I am.
You nervous?
Girl, you ain't gotta be nervous with
Okay.
us. It's me, Bondi, Josiah, Niecy, Urel, Scotty. You ain't gotta be nervous with us, child.
I mean, I done watched y'all
Nervous
before,
about
but now I'm in
nothing.
here, so it's like, okay.
Don't be
All right.
nervous, girl. It's cool.
You sound
Let's
like
do
Niecy.
this.
You sound like Niecy when she first started with us. You sound like Niecy.
Listen,
But
I got my Henny in my cup, so it's all right. It's all right.
Hey,
I'm
drink,
a little
Yes,
drink
God,
nervous,
me
up.
too.
Drink
Yes, I
yourself
live
up.
already. Come through.
period. So I'm ready. It's okay.
I'm lit, so please be prepared.
okay, so
I like that.
oh Lord.
Yeah, because I got something
Okay,
important to say
so
too.
before we get started, do we all agree that we ain't talking about Atlanta, or do y'all want to talk about Atlanta?
Next,
Let's get that
Nothing
out
to
the way
talk
first.
about.
next,
Nope.
ain't nothing to
Let's
talk
go.
about. Next, that's dead. Next,
Okay, I know y'all want to say next, but let me just ask y'all a question.
okay.
Two questions. First of all, do you feel like Latoya and Kenya are full of shit? For one. And for
Mm.
two, do you think that Drew Sidora and her husband will make it through the season?
No, I
I don't
don't
think
think they
so.
make it through the season. And yeah, Kenya and her forced relationship with Latoya, that's bullshit. Period, point blank.
I think for me, Drew and her relationship just came in with the BS, like just come in swinging with all these issues. And we only on episode 3, and y'all stressing me out. And y'all cool. Y'all need y'all to get it together. They ain't gonna last. I'm sorry. I mean, damn.
For me, I feel like Kenya and Latoya relationship is forced as hell. And I even said this in my review. I don't like people who like do all that giddy shit, like like when that's most of y'all conversation, it's like it don't come off real. So I feel like, yeah, that's a whole bunch of bullshit. As far as Drew and her husband, I feel like they're gonna be together until at least next season because I feel like Drew probably before this show started, she probably gave him several chances. And I feel like that's what she's doing now. So she probably ain't gonna leave him for real, until next season, if anything.
Yeah, I'm with Sakita on this one. I hate that giddy shit. I hate the high pitched squealing shit. And like the Kenya and Latoya relationship reminds me of it just gave me PTSD from like when I'm in high school. And you know, you be on break for 5 days. And then you get the girls running. Oh, I couldn't. I can't take neither one of them. And I also think that Drew is gonna stay with her husband. She not new to this. He trifling. I want to know how he got back in the house for 3 days after being gone for 3 days. She not new to this.
Okay, so Latoya and Kim.
I
Oh, go ahead, Scotty. Okay, I guess I'll go. So, I think they are definitely full of it. One, To any, I guess you could say, friendship situation or whatever that's built on the ground that theirs is built on is not going to last, because very soon something's going to happen. Those two going to end up falling out. With Drew and her husband, well, one, their whole entire relationship is nothing but a Tony Braxton song, Pick Anyone. I mean, there you go. Like, love should have brought you home last night. Just be a man about it. 7 whole days. I'll be damn it, take your pick. But outside of that,
First thing, Monday morning.
Ooh, that's my song too. I love that song.
but I think they can make it through this season if, one, they go to counseling and actually do the work, and two, Drew send her mama home, because that's a big thing. But yeah, I don't see it lasting.
I don't see that lasting
For
nowhere at all. I just don't. I don't see it for Ralph. I feel like Ralph is very egotistical. The fact that he can really get upset and make her feel a way about wanting to know where the fuck his ass been for 3 days, that still pisses me off to this day. Like, I don't think I have ever been in a situation where a nigga was really gone for 3 days and then upset with me for questioning about where he was at. Like, we're not married. Like, we don't have kids. Like, anything could happen.
Well, for me, I'm not sure what Ralph and Drew are doing. I'm hoping that it's not a situation where they're doing this just for the camera, because that's what it feels like to me. It's conjured up some bullshit so everybody can be talking about them for the show. So I really don't know. But even in that type of instance, sometimes when people do that, sometimes it does fall into their real life and then they don't work. So I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen with Ralph and Drew. But if they don't work out, I won't be fucking surprised. And as far as Latoya is concerned, I just feel like Latoya is just doing a whole lot too quick. It's like you could tell that she was working hard for a peach that she never received. And I just think that she need to calm the fuck down and stop trying to facilitate these beefs that she's trying to facilitate. You know what I mean? It's just like, really, you know what I'm saying? So it's ridiculous to me. So I really don't know, honestly. Like, Latoya, as pretty as she is, she ugly as fuck. And that's all I gotta say about them too.
Okay. So I'm gonna say this. First of all, I feel like everybody said, Latoya is trying way too hard. Pull it back just a little bit. Her and Kenya with the oh yeah. Like, cut it out. Cut it out. Where are we? What are we doing? Please stop. The shit is not enjoyable. It's cringeworthy, in all honesty, to me. I also don't like the way she went at Drew, because it was like, what is this for? Like, what is this about? Like, it seems extra to start ribbing somebody that you just met for like no real reason. And we've already seen what's happened on social media. Drew Sidora does not see it for Kenya. And Kenya was already not going to see it for Drew, because Drew is an actress that is working and current and relevant, and her acting career is paying her bills. So of course Kenya was going to have a problem. That was already said and done. As far as Ralph and Drew are concerned, I feel like they can possibly stay together, but it'll only be momentary, because people are going to rip them to shreds. They're going to get tired of her being passive aggressive, and they're going to tire of watching him be an asshole. So yeah, I just kind of feel like, girl, I hope you got your boots strapped up, because they're about to tear your marriage apart.
She need to make sure that he put her name on that house while he talking about mind your business, because he might be plotting to move old girl or whoever from Tampa, Florida into this new house. I don't trust him.
I mean, if we're going to be all the way for real, what she needs to do, if she hasn't been doing, is making sure she got that nest egg stored up, make sure she got some rental property and all this other stuff. So just in case things go left, you know, if the nigga decided he want to act up and put her out, I don't see that happening, because Drew probably whoop his ass. But if the shit do happen, at least you got granted, she got her own, but like, make sure you set, like, It seemed like she going into this blind, and I don't want to see that for her.
Okay, well, I guess that's all we can say about Ralph and Drew and Latoya and Kenya. I think the only other thing that I'm gonna ask about is the introduction of Fallon, and if y'all really give a damn Cynthia and Mike in this wedding planning. But I'm just gonna start it off with Fallon. What were you guys' feelings on Fallon on first glance? Like, what do y'all think of her? Whoever want to
She's
go ahead,
very
y'all can take
forgettable.
yourselves out mute and go.
She's very forgettable. At first I was sitting here like, who the hell is Fallon? When did we get introduced to her? And then I said, oh yeah, when they was down at the pool, she's, I think she's, but she was very forgettable. Oh well. And as far as Cynthia and Mike goes, girl, congratulations. I'm glad you got married because they started.
No one else Fallon cares to talk about her at all.
Listen, in my opinion, in the words of Aretha Franklin, beautiful gowns, beautiful gowns.
I agree with that, Josiah. She was very beautiful, stunning, matter of fact. And I do feel like the fact that you're coming into the show with rich husband and jacuzzi and pool, I'm feeling that, and I feel like she has the aesthetic of a housewife. Does she have the life of a housewife is the question. But we do need another friend to the show. So I was happy to see her just to see somebody else besides these same old batches.
I think Fallon is pretty. Her husband he look old enough to be her daddy, but I ain't mad at it. Secure the bag, sis. She seems fun. I mean, I really don't know what to think about her, but I will say, with the addition of Fallon, I felt like the producers literally called all over Atlanta and just found anybody, because whenever Portia was explaining their connection, she said that basically she met her in the restaurant that her husband owns. So I'm like, there's no real connection there. And I feel like personally that they already have enough friends on the show. You got Lauren coming on there all the time now. You got Tanya coming on there. Then you got Mal with Cynthia all the time. Now you got Little. It's just scrambled. I think they could have done a better job casting. So Fallon is cool, but I don't like this mix.
Me, I was not feeling Fallon at all. I was bored as hell. I kept wondering who the hell is Fallon and her damn husband. I know people want to add new faces and all of that, but she just seemed like she was literally thrown in there. Like, okay, and what she just did not give me that Housewives of Atlanta vibe. Like, I dead ass don't see her vibing with the other girls. So it's like, okay, what? Like, Portia, is this even your real friend? Like, this is giving me total stranger vibes. It was very forced, and I was just over that entire scene. I don't feel like she need to be there. Period.
Can everybody hear me now? Everybody hear me now? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. If you didn't hear me, I said Fallon was very forgettable. I forgot who she was, and then I had to think about it. She was the girl that the pool they was in. So that's how I was able to remember her. But other than that, no new friends.
I don't have an opinion on Fallon. Um, I don't I don't have an opinion on Fallon really. It's just like she was just there. Like she like just like Sakina said, there's not really a connection there. Like our Janice also said, she said that she met her at the restaurant that her man owns. So because you met at the restaurant that she was good enough to be on the show. That's not a good enough connection for me. And then I heard Kenya on an interview saying that Fallon was great for the show. She should hold a peach next season. I don't know. I mean I don't know. I don't know if she should. I don't know. But hey, it is what it is. So I guess that's it. As far as Cynthia and Mike is concerned, I don't give a damn. I think that Cynthia is doing way too much with this wedding planning. It is a pandemic. Don't nobody want to be sitting on top of each other like nine laters at a wedding, and there's a whole pandemic out there. So I'm not, I don't know if anybody else want me, Cynthia and Mike. If you don't, give me a thumbs up so we can move on to Potomac. Okay, so it's time for us to talk about the Housewives of Potomac. Let's get right on into the Housewives of Potomac. Okay, now there's a lot for us to talk about. There's a lot for us to start with, but I'm guessing before we go into the show itself, any comments about how Andy Cohen has gotten drugged all day on social media? Anything y'all got to
I
say about
agree.
that right now? Because that's also a hot topic.
I agree. He annoyed the absolute dog shit out of me. I don't understand how you can say you don't see something and then they show you the footage of it and you're just like, I don't see it. I don't see it. It seems as if he did not prepare for the reunion, as if he did not watch the footage, as if he has not been made aware of the situation. Because it just annoyed me that every time he said he didn't see something, the producers were like, well, here's the footage of it. So it just kind of annoyed me. And I feel like it was along the lines of what he did with Real Housewives of Atlanta, where he pretended to have the housewives back. And then when it went into, your girls tardy for the party, they went into her little room and all of a sudden the story changed. So I don't see it for Andy. He needs to stop, doing so much Becky before the shows.
Oh, what he also did that annoyed the living fuck out of me was how he kept trying to gaslight me. I didn't like the way he kept trying to like make her feel bad or make her feel like, well, you're supposed to feel bad. Or you're supposed to be crying. Or you're supposed to feel like that. And that was with Monique. Monique was like, bitch, when I wasn't being filmed. So now I'm past all of that. And then I like the tweet that she sent out, but roughly what she said was, how can I have feelings for something that I've already gotten over? She done already been through that. She done already cried, has snotty tissues all over the house and shit. They did not film none of it. That's how I feel. Huh?
We didn't hear nothing about how you felt because you were breaking up the whole time.
Oh, Lord. All right.
He about to go out and come back in. Anybody else want to chime in while he come back?
I will say this about Andy. I did notice he was coming a little bit aggressive with the ladies this reunion. I think he is tired of the shenanigans. I feel like he's trying to punish Candace and Monique on stage. So like in the first part one, he was telling her your life would be easier if you get your ass off Twitter, basically. Then this time he was really, it's almost like he was trying to force Monique into squashing the whole thing. So I don't know. I didn't like how Andy was coming. Then he felt comfortable enough to call Karen out on her bullshit of, not having layers, but you let Giselle sit there and kind of chill the whole show. You didn't call bullshit on Giselle, so I'm just like, keep that same energy, Andy.
I can agree with that. For real, Andy was not really pissing me off. It was just the fact that I'm a firm believer in not apologizing if you really ain't sorry. So if Monique felt like she was not sorry, then don't apologize, because what good is that going to do for me and you? It's just wasted breath, wasted words, because you're still going to have that same pressure or energy for me as it's just no point of apologizing if you don't feel sorry, period. So he didn't really bother me. It was just the fact that, okay, Monique don't feel sorry, but okay, the only thing I would say with Monique is, sis, don't say that you was upset, because he was like, so you're not upset? She was like, yeah, I'm upset. Girl, no, you not. And just own that. Like, she wasn't like she was showing that, but she was trying to let Andy know, like, yeah, I am upset, or yeah, I do feel some type of way about it. But it's just like, no, if you on your fuck her shit, then just be on that. I could respect you more for it than putting on.
So with Andy getting dragged by his hair last night, even into right now, I'm here for it. Mostly due to the fact that I would feel different if he kept the same energy for each of the women. But the fact that you like, even with Candace, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think he went hard on Candace. I think that the most that he said is, if you get off Twitter, your life will be so much better. Almost like, hey, boss to employee, I'm trying to do you a favor. Outside of that, he let her slide. When it came to Giselle, he ain't go in half as hard as he could have. When it went to, Robin, I'm gonna start using their nicknames later, but when he got to Robin, well, actually Robin ain't got shit going on, but it's like, you not even pressing these three. But you want to sit here and you want to continue to press hard on Monique, and then you get mad when she say these little checks ain't doing nothing. Like, some people say it's braggadocious. No, she keeping it all the way 1,000. Like, no, I mean, for the rest of these hoes over here, maybe on that side of the couch, this check doing something, because this one right here living in the shack. You know what I'm saying? This one right here, she needed the help on that down payment on the house. This one over here, she got, student loan debt and all this other stuff. Like, they probably need on this side of the couch, but over here, we sit nice over here because is inherited a farm. Ashley, got child support, alimony, spouse support money finna come in. My man got money, plus I had money from before. I'm just saying. And then he want to sit here and try to shade her on some slick shit. Like, but what you mad for? But when you get to the other housewives who actually got banked, I bet you he wouldn't run their ass down for having money, saying this little check. Like, she keep it all the way. Okay, again, Andy got everything his ass deserved plus some. I ain't got no more. I'm gonna save all my commentary for later. My bad. I'm sorry. I got hyped.
It's to piggyback on that right quick. I really did not like the fact that when she said, no, we make money on our own as well. He was like, really, still? Like, what the fuck do you
I was
mean,
just about to
really
say that.
still? Like, you don't ask none of them illegal ass Italians over there on Jersey how they getting their money. So why is it when Chris and Monique have showed up this entire time with Bank, all of a sudden we want to question where they getting their money from and thinking that this housewife chef, which mind you is the littlest of them all. So if anybody wants to feel like Monique was shitting on that check, it's well deserved. Pay them more money because they making you more money than some of these other housewife franchises. I never understand how y'all want to cancel Southern Charm New Orleans. Y'all want to cancel Married to Medicine LA, but y'all don't want to cancel Tardy for the Party.
Thank you. Nobody watches that show.
I didn't know that shit still came
No
on.
one watches that.
Hold on. Can y'all hear me now? Am I still breaking up?
No, you good.
I can hear
Racism.
you.
And I was,
All
you know
right,
what, Bonnie,
good.
you made a. Oh, I'm sorry. You made a really great point there, because I was just about to say that I did not like the way how he asked that question towards Monique, implying that, black people don't know how, black people don't really know how to make money on their own or invest. Like, I felt like that was slight racist. Like, that was a low-key racist undertone comment, and I did not appreciate that. And I think that's the reason why they dragged the fuck out of Andy on social media last night. For that question.
It's well deserved because I mean they like walk on eggshells with like the Housewives of Beverly Hills. Half of them hoes on there doing illegal shit, or they husbands are. They ain't even really got half of the money that they claim that they have and all of that. But we never hear about none of that. All the scandalous shit of the Beverly Housewives, we ain't heard shit about none of that.
Okay, what?
None
Let's
of
talk about it.
Let's
Talk
come on.
them Beverly Housewives women, Kyle Richards
Kyle
and her bullshit. Let's talk about he never hold Kyle accountable, nor question what she's doing.
None
and
of
I
that.
just yeah, all facts.
And like Bonnie said, them damn Jersey housewives, yeah, gone.
I just like to say for the record, everything everybody said, I agree with, because I ain't saying that shit again. I agree with what everybody else had to say. Go ahead.
And also, not to mention, it's a lot that he don't say nothing about, because then somebody on the Housewives of Orange County fake like they had cancer or somebody. Like, was it? It was either one of the housewives that faked like they had cancer, or they man faked the cancer thing or something like that on Orange County. I think
Vicky,
it was
I heard of
Vicky's
that.
ex-boyfriend named Brooks. He came on the show and acted like he had cancer, and he didn't do shit about that. So it's like I feel like they hold the black shows to a certain type of standard that's ridiculous. Like I think he does, and I do think that he has his favorites too. I think he picks and chooses who he likes because I do see a lot of people say that even with the Housewives of Atlanta, we could tell that he loved Phaedra, but we most of us don't think that he cared too much for Kenya. So I'm just kind of like, he come across like he holds so he has favorites, which everyone has favorites. But when you're, the boss and you're a host and all of this other stuff, you're not supposed to have favorites. You're supposed to question them the way they're supposed to. And I do feel like he was trying to see Monique when she was talking about her finances and her money. Everybody ain't like Robin. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like, she let you know what it was in her bank account, and that's just what it is. Everybody's not like Robin and Warren. Everybody's not
It's
Owen
too
Potato.
funny. I'm glad you
So,
said that. Scotty, I'm so glad you said that because when Robin was talking about how her and Wine gives to their house equally, I was like, bitch, we was not talking to you.
Yeah, we won't talking to you, girl.
We
Keep
Right.
your
was
mouth
like,
shut.
okay, and whatever money Wine got, you don't know about it.
You look like exactly.
And she was the same one talking about Karen's house was much better than the last one. Robin, I'm gonna need you to sit there and eat your food, okay?
Okay,
Let's
she
not
the
talk
last
this.
one.
Let's
I
not
want
talk
all of
about the
this.
entire townhome that we done seen
She
you
the last
in
one who should be
from
shading
jump,
somebody.
okay?
Now, I want to say something. So somebody in the comments have wrote, so Andy is racist with the most eye roll emoji. So I want to say this.
Yeah.
Like I said, because I can only speak for me. I can't say whether or not he is a racist, but what I will say is he's not a man of integrity and he doesn't stand in his shit because on the Real Housewives reunion, I believe it was season 11 when they tore into Grandmaster Zodiac, when they tore into that ass, he was right there sitting up, eating up in the bathroom with her, and even was just like, okay, well, you didn't give nothing. This is what it is. And then I guess he got some type of backlash, so he went on to one platform and was like, yeah, I can agree with what Kim said, this, that, and third. And once that happened, Black Twitter drug his ass once before, and then you go on the Breakfast Club in a fucking jumpsuit or whatever, trying to sit
Yep.
appeal to us.
Come on with
Like,
the
bro,
jumpsuit.
get the fuck out of my
Yes.
That made me so mad. I was like,
Yay.
Adidas fit. Get the fuck out of here.
And y'all, that
Go
was
back to Jenny McCartney's show with that bullshit. And listen, I'm gonna call it racism because I feel like as a white gay man, at the end of the day, Andy lives in a space where he is allowed to benefit and profit from racism. Okay, and I feel like the way he approaches the housewives is with underlying racism. If you can't see that, that's not my fault.
Yeah,
and
what they
also, let
said.
me also say this too. Let me also say this too, because it's funny how on shows like Platoon, shows like Atlanta, and there's a physical altercation. The first thing that he says is that we at Bravo don't condone violence. But I hardly ever hear him say that when those bitches in New Jersey go at it like that. I mean, Teresa put her ass down at the season 2 reunion in New Jersey, and she still can walk around and act like New Jersey belongs to her and all this other stuff. But let a black chick be fighting on the show, he gonna hold them accountable. He never holds Teresa accountable. That bitch always trying to fight somebody, like always.
okay.
So it's I don't like to call racism a lot for a lot of things, but I can't help but call a spade a spade. He does have the thing. He does see things for other people than he does for the black. Like he holds us to a certain caliber, but he don't hold them other hoes to a certain caliber. And I think we all can agree on that. Because let Nene have his ass down at a reunion. That's
I
all
And
I'm
let's
gonna
be
say
watched
about
the
clear,
other
that.
the Black
housewives.
Housewives shows make them the most money, but they don't make the most money. Can we talk about that?
Oh
Like, as
my!
it pertains to
Listen, and
viewership.
you can tell in the production, especially the Real Housewives of Atlanta, how the Real Housewives of Atlanta is one of the most watched franchises on Bravo and still cannot get their open the same tired ass opening tagline scenes from the
Yes.
past 6 seasons.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But Beverly Hills get a new one every season. New Jersey get a new one every season. So
Atlanta
yes,
don't
all
get a new
facts.
one every season. I thought Atlanta gets a new one every season.
Their whole,
Well, not a
the
tagline,
intro.
but you know, like their opening, like their new like outfits and stuff. Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
production wise.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant. My bad.
No, it's okay.
Everybody was upgraded. I'm so here with you. New York, Beverly Hills. It was another franchise. Like Potomac and Atlanta overdue. Like, let's get that done ASAP because that shit is tired and old.
And let's not forget back in season 11 when the girls went to Greece. I think when it was like Greece or something like not Greece, but like the one with Barcelona. Then they had like this crusty ass Airbnb that they all stayed in. The Housewives of Atlanta. That window with the damn jailbird bars on it.
That was
Production
when
needs to do
Cynthia
better.
did the trip. Remember?
Cynthia, yeah.
No, and I'm mad that he sent them Housewives of Potomac down to New Orleans in the States. Pre-COVID, okay? Y'all had the funds and the safety measures to send them out
And
of the
I'm
country,
from
but
here,
y'all gonna
and
send
I
them
still
to
feel
New
like
Orleans.
money should have sent them somewhere else.
I definitely agree. I don't know. I just when it comes down to Andy, I do feel like he did what he deserves because he should have been called out a long time ago. That's how I feel.
Can I ask y'all a question real quick? I don't watch any
Mhm.
of the non-black franchises besides Salt Lake City, which I just started that one. Which franchise do y'all think I should watch?
Beverly Hills. I like the Beverly Hills wives.
I say
Watch from the beginning because the earlier seasons was lit. And New Jersey. New Jersey is good.
New Jersey was good in the beginning.
Listen, I couldn't tell you.
Now.
I couldn't tell you. I only deal
Well,
with Atlanta and Potomac.
I've watched them.
Well, for me, well, I feel like I'm the only one that liked Miami. I'm the only one that liked Housewives of Miami. I'm the only one.
I forgot that came
I enjoyed it.
on. I forgot about that.
I love it.
I thought Miami was like one and done.
It was very short lived. I think it was like 2 seasons, if that.
Yeah, they had three seasons. They had Pippen's wife on there for the first season, but then her and some other chick got kicked off, and then they came back for a second season, and they had like mostly a new cast, and then they came back for a third, and then they dropped off the face of the earth after that. So, you know.
Yeah, I'm seeing New Jersey and Beverly Hills, so that's what I'm gonna have to do before this new year.
Watch from the beginning.
Well, what does Beverly Hills have? What does Beverly Hills have that keeps your attention?
Honestly, like I don't know, cause I'm weird. Like I just like the drama. Like the drama aspect was really good, especially back when Kim Richards was on there, and the season 1 and 2 would be ultimately my favorites because them girls used to go at it. You know, it was like the white woman reads, if that makes sense. Like they was like, oh my god, like are you serious? And like it's just interesting how they lived in Beverly Hills and how they talk to each other. And you know, when they throw shade at each other, it was just very interesting for me. So
it was really good in the beginning.
Okay. I did like New York. I like New York too. I used to love. I know she's very problematic, but I used to love Ramona. She was so fucking problematic. I'm sorry, but she was. But I did like Ramona. I did like Alex. I know a lot of people did not like Alex at all. But I did like Sonia, and I think what was the other chick's name? It was somebody else.
Jill.
And I remember that chick Aviva. I hated Jill. No, ma'am, I hated Jill. That chick Aviva, the one who took off her leg and threw it on the table.
I remember her.
She was funny to me, Aviva. Yeah, she was fucking hilarious to me. When she took that prosthetic leg off and threw it on the table, that was so funny. Like, oh my God. But I guess we could get off of Andy now. We done talked about all the other Housewives franchise, so we can get on to in the potatoes of what we here to talk about, and that's the Housewives of Potomac. You know that most people care about more so than Atlanta these days. Okay, so we're gonna go into that. I'm trying to see if I still have mine on here, but I probably don't. I guess not. But I guess we could start off where we picked up. Start off where they started off last. I guess with the Monique and Justine, and I guess the fallout with that. So whomever wanna start off, you can go ahead. I'm gonna put myself on mute. Well, I guess I'll let the ladies go first. How about that? I'll let Nisi, Sakina, and Bundy go first.
What was the question? The question was on Giselle and Monique. Is that what you said?
Yeah, the fallout of that when the reunion first came on.
Okay. Giselle, she's a fool. Monique mentioned, well, maybe she wants an open relationship. Really, what I gathered from this conversation with Giselle and Monique, obviously spilling over from part one, I was more so bothered that Candace kept jumping in, trying to speak, because Giselle really was just sitting there, whoop, like she turned white as a ghost. She was in there swallowing whole ass potatoes, whoop, nervous. And I'm like, okay, Andy not gonna press her on it. We really not gonna get nothing from it. The receipts are right there. It is what it is. But I was just like, Candace, why do you insist on you and Giselle falling on this sword together? Like, don't say nothing. Just let Giselle get hers. And I wish they talked about it a little bit more, but at the end of that, I don't think it would have made a difference because Giselle really wasn't gonna give them nothing. The receipts is right there. It is what it is. Like, whatever.
I just didn't like that Giselle said that her and Jamal been through worse. I'm like, no, y'all been through similar. The fuck? What are you talking about? Y'all been through the same shit. He was doing the same shit when y'all was married. Before y'all got married, he was fucking around with people in the congregation. He was having love children on you and all that. So what are you talking about? Y'all been through worse. This is the same shit that you was going through way back when. So why are you revisiting the past? Like, I don't understand. Baby daddy or not, fuck all of that, nigga. You was back in '99, and I'm gonna leave you right there. Like that, I'm so confused by that. But I mean, if she like to play the fool, go ahead.
My whole thing was the fact that everybody was gonna sit there and act as if Monique was the first person to ever talk about him being a hoe. She said he was a hoe first. She put it in a book, okay, and got an award for the book. So it just really annoyed me that everybody was acting as if it was actually up for conversation whether Monique was telling the truth or not. And then the fact that they let Giselle off the hook with me and Jamal are fine. No, bitch. Are y'all together or not? Like, that's what I wanted somebody to ask. And I think it was so funny that Candace was like, he should have been here in one breath, but then the next breath, you're calling Monique's book a binder of lies. Like, bitch, you never know which side of something you really are on. Is it the truth or is it lies, bitch? Pick a side.
Terrence, Sherelle, Josiah, y'all can go.
So I'll first say I feel like, because this goes back to Andy not really being on his job. Because if I was Andy, first and foremost, I would have been like, you know what, Goonie, can you please bring me the package? Can you bring me Exhibit A? And I guess I'll bring out I would have been like, so Giselle, it's saying right here that this happened. Did that really happen? And he said that he wanted, like, I would have done that. Like, come on, man. Like, obviously you want these things to be juicy, and you are playing in our faces. I don't like that. With Turtleneck saying that she was fine so many times, for a minute I thought they was gonna play Mary J. Blige, just fine. Cause I'm just like, you if you have to keep saying that you're fine, you're really not fine. I mean, maybe you're trying to convince yourself of that, but you're not convincing us. And I know a lot of people feel that that Post-it note has every right to say whatever it is she wants to say whenever she wants to say it. Perfectly fine, but I can't wait for when we get to part 3 and your ass is held to the fire. That I can't wait to see if Turtleneck gonna come to your defense. And even, you know what, we haven't got to that part yet. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think that Andy should have definitely questioned Giselle more on the whole situation, because Giselle was really just sitting there stuck. Because if it was somebody else or anybody else on the cast, Giselle would be definitely pressing them all the time to just trying to get the tea out. So she was let off the hook this time.
Listen, the only thing I noticed about that situation with them was the many rings around Giselle's neck. And I just equated that to as many lies and backpedaling and coochie popping and a handstand that she was doing through this whole damn thing. Like, just like, if I was Giselle, I just want Giselle to shut up. I want Giselle to shut up. I don't want her to continue to sit up and try to play in our faces with this fake, forced, phony ass relationship. I like, it's pissing me off at this point, because I don't like when people play on my intelligence. Girl, stop playing on my intelligence. That man don't want you. But don't worry, you're not at the bottom by yourself, because Devil Dick don't want Robin ass either. Okay, so don't feel bad for Robin. Robin and Giselle going through the same thing. She's not at the bottom by herself.
As hard as they pressed Karen about where she was living at, that's how hard they should have pressed Giselle down her man. Because we heard about Karen literally from the beginning of the season to the end, to the entire all parts of reunion. We was trying to figure out where Karen lived. He and everybody else should have kept that same energy with Giselle.
And how is the binder too much, but getting a t-shirt made about Karen's tax issues is not too much?
Yeah, she did do that.
No, we didn't even got to go that far back. Let's go back to when Goonie got all the heifers together to apologize to them. Did people not forget that Turtleneck came in with a whole list of every time that Monique then sat here and got somewhat confrontational? So you finna sit here and say the binder too much, but what the fuck was you doing so many episodes ago? Again, that's why I say we need a new moderator. We need a new host, because Andy didn't on his motherfucking job.
He's getting too biased. He's getting too biased, and it's taking the energy off of the reunion.
Yeah. He deserved everything he got last night. Like I said before, and I say it again, I didn't like the way he did Monique. That was real fucked up. Him trying to make her feel bad for not feeling the way that he wanted her to feel. And then you want to sit up and say, this franchise is so much above this, but every chance you got, you showed this tired ass fight. Every chance you got, you shown the damn fight. Like, stop trying to act like what you got ain't up to par with Love and Hip Hop and Black Ink Crew, because it's almost there. It's almost there. You're not too far away from it at this point. That's all I got to say. Fuck Ann.
Well, for me, when it comes down to Giselle, though, for me, I think that when it comes down to her, she was getting what she deserved. And I felt like I was more so annoyed with Candace, not because she was speaking, but it was because she was speaking up for her. Because Giselle deserves all this heat that she's getting. From the very beginning, Giselle has talked about everybody's relationship, everybody's whatever, everybody's business. She got it all together. She has talked about every fucking body, and I wanted her to get exactly what the fuck she gives everybody else, because she sat up there and she went on national TV and she said that Sharice was a fireman. She got on TV, she clown Karen about her taxes. She, just like Bundy said, she made a whole damn Megan Ray. She said that Ray wanted Erica Lyles. She disrespected Monique in her own damn house because she was talking too damn much. Like, she disrespects a lot of fucking people. So for her to be disrespected to the degree, the way that she was at the reunion was everything to me. I wanted it from the very beginning. Because to be honest, the energy that Monique gave Giselle at the reunion, That's the same. That's the energy she should have been giving it to from the very beginning. This whole season, she should have been giving all this to Giselle
And I
anyway.
believe
All
she's been
season. That's
watching.
how.
She's been watching us. She's been listening to what we have been saying about her playing a fool. And I definitely feel like she showed up to the reunion trying to vindicate herself from that.
Yep. See, and that's why I couldn't get with everybody kept in my comments for my video. Everybody kept saying, "Oh, so Candace can't speak." No, what I'm saying is there is so much clarity to be given from this reunion if Candace would just be quiet. It was showing me enough that Monique showed up, and although Candace kept chirping and commenting at Monique, Monique wasn't saying anything. And that's telling me that Monique knows that the master puppet or puppet master is Giselle, because she redirected all that hate that she had for Candace to Giselle. So if Candace would have just sat there, she would have learned so much, and they may have been able to resolve the issue. It's just like, if you don't want conflict, if you want to avoid conflict, stop addressing Monique first.
Did
Just
y'all
don't say
think
nothing.
that Monique wanted to apologize? Remember when Candace started to cry and she was like, "Can I say something?" And Andy was like, "Oh, I want to hear her response," and she didn't want to hear anything. Like, I feel like every time that Monique has wanted to say, "Hey, I did too much. You ain't deserve all that." Whenever she's tried to do that, Candace has taken it a step further, which makes Monique feel like, well, fuck it now. Like, how was she supposed to feel bad when Candace grandstanded and cried and played victim throughout the whole reunion, but kept commenting and kept saying shit when nobody was talking to her? Like Niecy said, let Giselle get the ass whipping she deserves.
But Bondi, but something that also happened, because we actually didn't discuss it on this for the season finale, but when the girls were sitting down and they were trying to grill Karen, and both Karen and Ashley says that, you know, Monique has said that she's remorseful and everything else, and Wendy said, but she didn't tell us. Y'all didn't give her the space to tell y'all, because y'all now of course, yes, Monique said if y'all want to, y'all don't have to invite me to anything, yes, and things went legal. But they could have shot another scene with her minus Candace for her to even say, like, you know what, I did some reflecting, whoop, wop, the bam. But y'all never gave her that opportunity for it to even happen. And I truly do believe that she would have done it had those papers not been filed.
And another thing was that them meeting up with Candace without carrying around, like, to me, it solidified that Giselle and them were just waiting for a moment to pounce. Like, y'all didn't even give Monique a chance to reply before y'all had all met up and decided that she was guilty and it was all on her and Candace had no part in the fight. And I don't care what nobody saw. I saw that slow-mo on Instagram. Monique was not lying.
I don't think Monique was ever going to apologize until she had that meeting with her pastor. So one thing that I never understood is, like, I say this review after review, why come for Candace but not come for Giselle, right? So even after the fight, you continue to try to be strategic by apologizing to the group of women, including the women who wanted to spread their rumor about you, when really all the shit was out on the table. You done already threw hands on Candace, so go ahead and give it to Giselle and Robin with your words. So I think once she realized that she couldn't sway the women in that meeting, that's when she was like, okay, like, this is it. This is my breaking point. So I don't think she was going to apologize until she met with the pastor. Then once the stuff went legal, she definitely wasn't going to apologize. And at this point, she will never get an apology.
But let's keep it 100 and all the way real. If Monique would have apologized to Candace directly and say, Candace, I am sorry for putting my hands on you or whatever, this whole situation, would you honestly think that Candace would have forgave Monique and they would move on? I don't think so. It would have still been some type of issue because Candace is that dramatic and a drama queen.
Wait. Hey, Terrence, it looked like you want to say something. What's up?
If Monique wanted to apologize to Candace, I would have been here for that. What I wasn't here for was Monique apologizing to the rest of them bitches, especially Giselle and Robin. I won't here for that. This had nothing to do with them. You didn't put your hands on them. Fuck how they feel, especially Giselle, because Giselle was responsible for all of that. Has she really wanted to apologize to Candace? I believe that Monique should have done that, maybe without cameras around, but then again, it happened on camera. So maybe she will probably want an apology on camera. I do feel like if it wasn't everybody else being involved in it, eventually had Monique apologized, I do think Candace probably would have accepted it because it wouldn't have been so many people in her ear. But you got Giselle in her ear, you got Robin in her ear, you got Wendy in her ear, you got her dusty ass mammy and her sagging ass titties in her ear. Like you got so many people in her ear, and I think that's why this is what's going on. Because let's be honest, the bitch is simple. Okay, she don't operate like a grown, rusty ass 37-year-old woman would do. You know how we would handle a situation, she would have handled it that way. So we also got to take that into consideration too.
Okay.
I don't think she
Now I'm
would.
being nice by saying that.
Let me say this. When she apologized to the group, I feel like that was more so for Wendy and Karen and Ashley than it really was for Robin and Giselle at that point. Just because she had that conversation with Wendy, right? You remember, right before they all met up, I think that Monique and Wendy had a conversation, and Wendy kind of had more understanding for Monique during that conversation than she did when Monique showed up in front of the rest of the ladies. So I feel like it wasn't even as much about the two of them as it might have been for Wendy and Karen's benefits. But I'll say this. I think that she was being strategic, as Nisi said, because I feel like if I got into a fight, I'm still going to apologize to the other ladies because I shouldn't have gotten into a fight. So let me apologize for even taking it there. But I do feel like the bitch I got in the fight with got in my face and asked for that energy. So no, I'm not sorry for putting my hands on her, but I'm apologizing for putting everybody else through the turmoil of the fights. But if we get into the fight, can we talk about how when they tried to act like Candace wasn't throwing that glass, when they played that video and saw how that glass was being thrown around? Can we discuss?
But that was
I put the slow-mo on my Instagram. I put the slow-mo on my Instagram, and people are still arguing that Monique watched the footage and Monique concocted her story around the footage. That's basically the new thing that's going on now. People feel like she done watched it, she studied it, and then she based and built her story off of what was on the video. That's what people are saying.
Now, do I? Truth, what difference does it make if the story is still built on the truth of the matter, which is that Candace did play a part because Candace not only pulled Monique towards her before Monique pulled her, but she also reached out and touched Monique. So it wasn't like this whole attack thing, as I have said so many times before. When somebody attacks you, you are sitting there minding your business and they come at you. Not I touched you, you touched me, and now we got into a fight. That's not an attack. So I feel like all in all, Monique was vindicated. But I do feel like it was extra shady that Andy kept denying everything Monique said, but then production showed the video that kind of contradicted that.
For me, I feel like if Monique was vindicated in any way, I would go with the whole when she went like that, because I didn't catch all of that, like the slow-mo.
Yeah,
that it's like, yeah, bitch, you way too close. Back up off me.
Yeah.
Said, get your hand out my face. Okay, yeah. Because at this point, I do need to go on defense because your hand movements are a little too close. Even though that, like I said, that table was narrow as hell, so they was really all in each other's face. If you want to be honest, but when you do this, yeah. Hold on, wait now. Get up off me. But to me, I feel like Monique started it when she started doing all that flip, because now you're physically touching me and you're letting me know that you're ready to go, bitch. We about to fucking fight. Now, Candace, she's not a fighter. And I'm just, okay, and I know I'm a newbie here. So I come from a standpoint of not fighting. I don't do that fighting shit. I've never gotten a fight in a day of my life. Now, did I feel like I wanted to slap a bitch before? Yes. But I'm just never going to take it there because I just feel like that's just violation to me. But I'm just like, I feel like Monique really took it there when she flicked her hair, and then they start fighting. As far as the whole tossing the glass thing, I don't feel like that happened. Like, it happened, they showed it, but I felt like, okay, her head was down at that point. Bitch, yeah, I'm about to be flanking this shit so you can get off me. I don't want to keep getting bopped in my head. That's how I look at it.
I feel you, but she only started to get slack after she pulled at Monique first. Monique flipped her hair, but she pulled Monique, and let's add Giselle into the mix. I don't care what Giselle says. Bitch, that was not a separate push. That was a
Thank you.
antagonize this fight push.
Thank you.
So I felt like that was a push, like in defense
Yeah,
of
me too.
Candace.
Thank
Like
you. I
back
was
up
just
off my
saying that.
sis. Like I felt like Giselle wanted to get that push in for herself, but I don't think she
Thank
was
you.
trying to fight. And then the other thing is with the glasses, what I thought. Okay, the video showed me that both of them share fault in this fight. I'm gonna say that to begin with. The video showed me. Now,
Yeah,
leading
I
up to
agree.
all of this, I thoroughly believe that the only person who had power to make sure that this didn't turn physical was Monique, because Candace wasn't gonna fight. I really think Monique held majority of the power, whether this fight turned physical or not, which is why she's carrying most of the weight. Now, the only thing I thought was crazy was that Monique said, well, I wasn't gonna let her go until I felt like I could defend myself and felt like I was safe. And I was like, well, what? I don't feel like Candace had enough control or enough visibility to really be a threat. I don't even know if Candace knew where she was waving her hand at with that glass.
She didn't. She didn't know. That's why I'm like, okay, yeah, that glass, she couldn't see shit. So yeah, she was waving at you because yeah, you keep bopping me.
Okay, but you could also say that Monique couldn't see shit because the alcohol was in her face before
Was
she
in her
started
face.
slapping Candace in the head.
Right.
So you can say she
Right.
felt like, oh shit, I feel like too many hands in the mix, alcohol in my
Mhm.
eye, bitch, I gotta start hitting. And let's not forget that she did get hit in the mouth with the glass. It was bleeding. So
She did.
I feel like at the end of the day, like
Right.
Niecy said, and like I have said many times before, both people played a part in the fight. Yes, Monique started it and she made it physical when she flipped Candace's hair. But I also feel like Candace is acting like, you know, a complete victim and like somebody just came out of nowhere and hit her. When at the end of the day, I recognize Candace's personality. Even though you don't want to fight, you also are not going to let somebody punk you. So every step Monique took it, she was going to one-up Monique because Monique took it there. So at the end of the day, I still feel like, bitch, you knew what you was doing when you was being physical with her as well. The pulling, the poking, all of that shit. You just got your ass whipped. You just came to somebody
Right.
who really was about that shit right quick, right
Right.
fast. And that's
Right.
unfortunate. But if you really didn't want
Right.
to fight, your ass shouldn't have never got that close to her if you really didn't want to fight. Because I've been jumped. I've got in fights before. And if I don't want to fight, I'm keeping my safe distance.
What do y'all? Okay, so this is my next thing. Ooh, Monique was completely right when she said Candace did this, right? And I knew she was right because she watched the footage 100 times and she was taken into court. Now, honestly, in my opinion, I think that Candace could have kept talking and not done this, and they still would have gotten into a fight. Like, I'm not saying this isn't a trigger, but what I'm saying is anything would have been a trigger for Monique at that point. What do y'all think?
Well, before I get to that, I just want to bring up a couple things very quick. With the whole fight before it escalated, though the two women involved are completely at fault, I can't absolve the other women because, okay, I'm not gonna go too deep into the story, but me being in the military in Korea, we coming from Pyeongtaek, getting back on base. A fight is literally about to break out in the cab line between a soldier and another NCO. Now, I am at a place where I can break this up, which I did. I forced the soldier to take our cab and get the fuck out of Dodge before shit went left. I say all that to say, you can't tell me that the other women did not see this thing escalating at different points. They could have interjected and made it to where it never got to that point. So one, they all share blame. Two, we not gonna sit here and pretend as if Candace didn't have a knife doing all of this before to where Wendy had to take it from her And then when Monique was talking about the whole glass, I think in her mind, maybe it's just hindsight 2020. But if all you doing is bopping a girl on her head, but you have a weapon because now it's broke and it's real sharp and it's a weapon, that could definitely be a thing. Now, I done got sidetracked. What was your question, Niecy, so I can answer the question? I'm sorry, I got sidetracked.
I was asking, so I was saying this could absolutely be a trigger, but I'm convinced that anything could have happened and the fight still would have resulted in the same thing. I don't think this was like end all be all. I think anything could have happened and end up the same.
It could be, but at the same time, even if she didn't do this right here with the slowed down footage, she literally grabbed Monique and pulled her in. So regardless if she was doing this or not, you still physically drew her into you.
That makes more sense. But the fact that Monique didn't say that makes me wonder if it happened, because Monique studied that footage time and time again, and she said that this was her trigger. She didn't say that Candace pulled her. She said this was the trigger and Giselle doing this was the trigger.
As
Baby girl
somebody
changed her
who
story
has
too many
been in
times.
a number of fights, I'm gonna say this, and I said this from the beginning. You don't always remember exactly how every moment played out. You just know you were reacting to something. You didn't just do it just because. You just know that something happened that made you feel like, oh shit, let me just start boxing. And I feel like even though that may not have been what Candace was trying to do, I feel like that's why the other girls played a part, because they all, put their hands in and made the situation seem a little bit more like Monique had to defend herself, because it's all these different hands. She putting her hands in my face. Somebody just pushed me. Somebody pulling me. Now I just feel like I need to just start swinging. Then the glass comes out. So I feel like at the end of the day, when we really break it down, a person in Monique's situation might have still made the same decision, but that doesn't absolve Candace from doing several things to also add to the physical altercation. I feel like I can't just say, Monique was gonna fight her anyway, because they have gotten into it so many times and it didn't result in a physical altercation. But when Monique feels that somebody is coming into her, I think she all of a sudden, gets to this space where you get physical. Robin, when Robin put the umbrella in, well, she put the umbrella under Robin's neck, but Robin got in her space. So it was like, okay, now I need to take it there. So I feel like it was definitely Monique that took it there, but I don't want to absolve Candace, because I feel like that's what they've done this whole season is absolve Candace from any responsibility. And that has been my main problem.
I agree with Bondi 1010%. And anybody that watch me knows I've always said that. That's why I get so frustrated with a couple of you hoes in the comments, because y'all sit up and try to make it seem as if I'm Team Monique, and I'm not. I never once said I agreed with what Monique did. I never once said that. I've always said Monique knew that girl was scary, and Monique knew that girl couldn't fight, and Monique could have held her composure a lot longer than what she did. She could have. I don't care what Monique claimed her triggers were. You already knew it was no competition. You shouldn't have took it there, period. You know she a bitch with a lot of mouth. You know that. However, I'm not going to sit up and try to make Candace out to be a victim. You're not. You're not. And not only that, and I don't mind saying it, and I'm more than sure people gonna get mad and they're gonna at me in the comments when I say this, but oh well. I'm sorry that it had to be Monique, but I'm not sorry that Candace got hands laid on her. I'm not. With the kind of mouth that Candace walking around here got, which is why I said Dorothy did a piss poor job of raising Candace. For Candace to be as grown as she claimed that she is, I just can't sit here and believe a grown woman feels like I could say whatever the fuck I want to say to you. I could tell you that I hope right now you, your mama, and your daddy both die. But you're not supposed to hit me because we're grown. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And while with me, I
That
know
was a
how to
good
read
point.
and I know
That
how to
was a
fight.
good point.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to read and I know how to fight. If we're just as long as we tongue wrestling, it's no shade. I'm not gonna take it there with you unless you take it there with me. But to a person that don't know how to go back and forth with the rah rah rah, but they know how to box, guess what they gonna do, bitch? They gonna knock your goddamn block off. So you gotta be prepared. That's just how I feel. I'm sorry. And I know I'm about to get added in all of these comments. I don't care.
I mean,
Well,
even with
for
all of
me,
that, like for somebody that has mouth, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of us on this panel can agree that we all got mouth. I done already told y'all I got mouth. You feel what I'm saying? The only difference is I'm down to throw hands. Now I'll admit I may not win every motherfucking fight, which is cool, but I'm still gonna talk about shit. Now, if you a person that don't fight and you talk your shit and you willing to take a lick, get up and keep talking your shit, that's cool. But if you not about that life, I'm again, everybody says so Candace could say that. Yeah, Candace could have. And though they were at the table together, she walked away from the table, got animated with the rah-rah, and then now that you're animated, you close the gap coming back up to the table with all of this rah-rah and all this whatever you want to call it. All I'm saying is if you knew that you weren't trying to fight, you could have just stayed over here talking about some we're asleep, we're bored. You could have stayed over there doing that, but you came and got it back in this woman's face. Yes, it was small table semantics. But that's just me. Like, if you know you ain't trying to fight, then stay your ass over there talking your shit. But if you get close, I mean, hey, be willing to take a lick. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
well, this is okay. So this is my thing on the whole situation. Now, here's my thing because I've been listening to everybody talking all this other stuff. So this is what it ultimately boils down to for me. I still feel like there is some blame to go around when it comes down to the Candice and Monique fight. I still feel that way. I do think that Monique was absolutely wrong for putting her hands on her. I never once said that she wasn't. Whenever I speak my mind on this particular situation, people if I'm trying to take the blame from one other person and just put it on the next when there's blame to go around. But when you think about it, I've always felt that Monique wanted to fight Candace at any given moment. She wanted to fight her, and I feel like this was her opportunity to fight her. That's just really how I feel. I feel like she wanted to fight her anyway. She was already pissed with her anyway. She already don't like her anyway. And I feel like when it comes down to it, y'all already know in the real world, I don't know about anybody else, but sometimes when you're forced to be around a person, you know what I mean, that you don't like, everything about them annoys you. Every single thing about them annoys you. When they smile, it annoys you. When when they walk past you, it annoys you. Like everything they do annoys you to the point where you want to beat their ass. That's not a rational way of looking at it, but it happens. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she just didn't like Candy. She already had some feelings about whatever, and she wanted to fight her. So my thing with that is, when it comes down to the situation at hand, I still feel the same way when it comes down to verbal fighting. Sometimes it can escalate just by some of the things that you say. It's not correct, but it can happen. I still feel like if I don't want to fight you, I'm not gonna ask you if you're gonna drag me. I'm not gonna ask you if you're gonna drag me because I feel like this: if a bitch that was pregnant, barefoot and pregnant, with her stomach out like this, already threatened to beat my ass while she was pregnant, I'm pretty sure that when she wasn't pregnant, she would eventually beat my ass. So that's my warning right there. She already threatened to drag me once when she was pregnant. I'm pretty sure she'll do it when she's not pregnant. That's my thing with that. Number two, when it comes down to the semantics of the fight, here's my thing. Monique said that this is the thing that Candace did that triggered her. She did this. They all said that she didn't do it, but the camera showed that she did do this. Like she did wave her hand in her direction, which prompted her into saying, "Get your hand out of my face." That's number one. Number two, when she said that the glass of wine was thrown in her face, when your adrenaline is up and you're in a physical application, your adrenaline is up, you really can't touch. Monique really couldn't tell that Candace really didn't throw the glass of wine in her face because she fighting her. But in all reality, she didn't throw the wine in her face, but from her vantage point, all she knows that some wine got thrown in her face. So that's why she thinks that Candace did it, but in all reality, she didn't. Also, she sees the glass in her hand going left to right. And Monique, because she's fighting, she probably felt like, okay, this bitch throwing glasses in my face. But in all reality, she was pinned down like this. So what else could she do? She trying, what else could she do? She's pinned down like this. She can't really do shit to defend herself. So of course, the glasses is gonna fly around. So both of them probably got it mixed up because they were both in different positions, different situations. And on top of that, when you got liquor involved and you got the Olive Garden camp involved, it's gonna be a bunch of confusion. So I just think that when you got alcohol, you got the peanut gallery all in the mix, saying this, saying that. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And then when it comes down to Monique, you about that life because you fought Candace, right? Okay, so when Robin got up in your grill 2 seasons ago, why you didn't pop up on Robin? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you
Don't
can
do
pop up
that.
on Candace, how come you didn't pop up on Robin?
Don't do
And
that.
Robin was
Don't do
way
that.
more. No, I'm sorry, but Robin was way more aggressive than Candace was. Robin was all up in her grill, and she didn't do shit to her, but just grill her. You know what I mean? So
I mean, she didn't do shit to her. Didn't she? Strangle her with the umbrella? It wasn't like she
Yeah, with the umbrella.
completely backed away
She
from the
did do that.
situation.
Yeah. She held her neck hostage
But
with an
the way
umbrella.
But the way she did Candace, she should have did Robin like that, because Robin was
She
way
should
more
have grabbed Robin
disrespectful
by
when
the
she popped up in
follicles.
her
True, but
face.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's two totally different situations. This is a long-term
Right.
beef I'm having with somebody I'm close to versus getting into it
Right.
with a bitch I know mad because she broke and I'm not. Like,
Right.
I mean, I
Right.
just feel like it's two
See,
different
and
Right.
this is
situations.
so
But I
And she wants to
frustrating.
bump her. She wants to listen. I agree with
This
my
is so
getting the
frustrating
saying.
to me because I feel like we're saying the same thing, but looking at it through different perspectives. If you silo the fights, then they both had equal fault, right? Candace shouldn't have been running her mouth. Monique had every bit to control it. But if the reason why I can't just be like, okay, well, Candace shouldn't run her mouth is because I'm always going back from the beginning. What could have prevented this fight is if Monique kept that same energy with Giselle and Candace. And I'm not saying that I'm above fighting. What I'm saying is if you kept that same energy at the beginning and you just so happened to get into a situation to where you had to whip Giselle ass and Candace ass, I'm here for it. So I think we're saying the same thing. It's just looking at it through different perspectives. It's way more complex than that. And it's really frustrating that Monique didn't operate in a way that made like logical sense. It was just too much trying to cover stuff up, trying to build alliances and all that. It's just like she didn't have to do all that.
You said that perfectly.
I agree. And I feel
I
like
agree too.
you're right. We are seeing it through different eyes because I feel like we do see this situation the same but different, okay? Because I do feel like at the end of the day, you're right. She should have gave Giselle and Robin that same energy. But I also feel like Giselle and Robin wasn't coming at her in the same way that Candace was coming at her. Giselle is not going to get in your face and tell you to drag her because her old ass don't want to get her back hurt, okay?
But those instances before, Candace wasn't coming at Monique. All the instances before. So that's where she could have kept the same energy because Candace really wasn't trying to meet her match until that event. So if from the beginning, it was all equal playing field for Giselle, Robin, and Candace, in my opinion.
I kind of feel like Candace was always going to run off at the mouth because she's Dorothy's child. So even if she wasn't going to back it up with her hands, she was going to run her mouth because she's Dorothy's child. Like, I feel like a lot of the reason why this fight happened is not just because Monique didn't handle it right, but also because Candace can't control people coming at her. Like, even on social media, people don't want to admit this, but Candace goes further than all of the other girls because she can't accept the criticism because she's immature.
I hate when she be going off on Twitter just saying all this reckless stuff. Her mouth is very reckless, and that's one thing that I just really cannot stand about Candace. Like, her mouth is reckless. She needs to be careful with her words and what she puts out into the universe.
And that's why when everybody asks me, go ahead, Scotty. Go ahead.
I don't necessarily know if we can say that Robin didn't come at Candace the same way that Candace. No, Robin didn't come at Monique the same way Candace came at Monique because Robin really was walking up in this bitch face like she really wanted to fight, and I feel like she was closer up on Monique than Candace ever was. Like she, do it. Are you gonna hit me? Do it. Do it. Do it. She was in her face just like that. Like
I
and
meant
all
I
Monique
meant
could
I
do was
meant
hold
currently.
the
I
umbrella
meant
up.
currently. But I do agree with what you're
I'm
saying
just
right
saying
there.
though.
I just meant currently.
I'm just saying. Oh, okay. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Terrence. I had to put that out there because child Robin needed her ass beat. That I'm just saying.
Girl, I forgot what the hell it was I was about to say. You done messed me up, child. Go ahead.
Okay, so can we just go ahead and get to phone screen Gargamel and their open relationship? Can we all agree that we done with them?
Who Ashley
Wait,
and
who is
Okay.
phone screen?
No, we
Ashley and
can
Miss
speak on
Michael.
that one.
Oh,
Let me listen.
We can speak on that one.
we do. We got a lot to talk about,
Y'all,
y'all. Let's
you
get
talk
to
about
it.
Ashley and Miss Michael. That's Miss
Josiah,
Michael.
go ahead. I want
That's
to hear your
Miss Michael
opinion, Josiah.
Everlasting.
Woo! Listen, when I saw that, I cringed so damn hard. Girl, just say that you are this man's beard. Just say that he does whatever he wants to do, and I don't care because I'm getting a check. Just said that. Just say that. You might as well go on and say that because the cringe-worthy excuses you was coming up, honey, my
Child,
little
I don't know a straight
6-year-old
man
niece
that is okay
can
with
lie better
another
than
man
that.
calling him zaddy. I don't know a straight man that's like, yeah, call me
That's
zaddy. It's all good.
that's because Ashley knows that Michael goes by T.S. Michael Everlasting by night. Okay, that's why she not dumb. She knows exactly what this is, and that's why she pushing out all of these children about her cooch so that she can ensure whenever she decides to leave him, she's set for life. Personally, I'm not mad at Ashley for that. I ain't mad at. Listen, work ain't honest, but as long as it's paying your bills, who am I to judge? Listen, working is
Okay.
for the birds. And if I can
What
get
the city
married to
girl
a rich
say?
white nigga that will take care of me and give me my wants and my needs, I mean,
What the city
I
girl
you
But
say?
know,
it's
Where the
I
bag
can feel
at?
like
Where the
that.
bag at? Hey. Okay. Sorry.
I can't
yeah.
get with that. I'm sorry. I can't get with it. 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 I can't get with it because it's the simple fact that he's a fucking predator. So I can't ever get with a bitch that's sitting up here fucking with a predator
But
and
if
know he a
she
damn
don't give
booty.
a shit about that, why should I? Listen,
Let me get it out. Let me get it out. He's a fucking booty bandit, and she know that he is, and she's sitting up here protecting his ass. I would respect her if more if she would say, "Yes, I know my man likes to grab asses. Yes, I know my man wants to suck a little dick, but I
she
ain't got
can't
time
do
for it.
that.
Long as
Ashley
long as
is playing chess. Ashley is playing
make sure
chess.
that I'm getting my money. I don't care. I don't care what she playing. She can be playing Uno for all I care. I never be behind nobody that's protecting a fucking predator. That's just like us protecting fucking
I
R.
get it.
Kelly. I can't get it. I can't. I'm sorry.
I get it
Y'all gonna need to get his ass out the
1010%. I get it.
and sexually assaulting men on their show. He don't need to be on there because if one or any of them other black men on that show was
I
assaulting his
said
introduced,
that.
he would not be on that.
See, y'all, in my
I said
video,
that.
I said multiple times. Well, let me say this first. So this is what I peeped about Michael Darby. I'm not about to diagnose him with anything, but there's been instances throughout his 5 years on Potomac where we've seen some odd stuff, like him inappropriately touching people, for one. For two, whenever he was talking to Ashley in, where was they at? Portugal or Portland? He said to her on the phone, "Why are you, I don't know if I can say that word on this live, molesting or whatever." And then whenever he was with the security people, he was like, "Why are y'all touching me? It's disgusting." So I feel like it's definitely something weird, definitely with Michael's childhood that is on the surface, but I don't know. I just can't figure it out. And then the other thing I wanted to bring to y'all attention, I mentioned this in my video. I had to say allegedly about 15 damn times. Imagine if Michael had inappropriately touched a female crew member. Do y'all think that he would have made it 5 years into Potomac? Not at
I
all.
said that. I said that.
You
I
said
said
that
that
in your
even if
review
it was
too,
a
Terrence.
woman.
Not at all.
I said
No,
that.
he would have been
Listen,
cut.
the reason why Ashley is taking up for him, we gotta remember Ashley didn't come from anything. That's the real reason why she don't like Candace. Okay? Even though we want Ashley to be like, nigga, you nasty, like you touching men, like what the fuck you got going on? Even though we will react like that, you gotta look at Ashley's upbringing. That's no excuse, but you gotta meet a bitch where she at, and that's just where Ashley at. You got to meet her where she at. It's no excuse. I don't condone it. I
I'd
spoke on
rather
that in my
not.
review.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Ashley, I
I,
mean,
I'd
Y'all,
rather not
people
meet her
are
there. I
saying
leave her in the parking lot. I leave in the parking lot where she been standing at. I ain't meeting her there. She can stay right over there with that pedophile. Go ahead.
y'all, people are saying that Michael and Juan is vacationing somewhere on a
they
vacation.
are.
They need to stop.
They are. They
They
are.
Y'all gotta
need
They
chill.
are.
Y'all gotta
You
chill in
mean
these
to tell me?
comments.
Listen, Michael and Juan been at all of the other reunions. All of a sudden, the both of y'all just so happened to miss this one after you done proposed to your beard. Like, come on now.
Who do
Like,
y'all
let's just be honest.
who do y'all think slept with Katie Ross? I don't think it was Ashley. I think it might have been Robin.
Robin, right?
I
The
think
It
word
probably
on the
was.
curb. The word on
Oh,
the
because
curb
they
is
did
that
skip
Sharice.
right over that, honey. They skipped right
Okay,
over that.
okay.
I'm surprised Andy did not ask. Okay, so who was it? Who did it?
The word on the curb
Rob.
is Sharice, y'all.
You said Sharice?
Wait, whoa. Sharice
Not
Sharice with the
Sharice.
Dejanay bang
Sharice.
Sharice. Tied
Sharice.
dusty ass Sharice has
Sharice.
sex with Katie.
Ain't got shit else going on.
Bondi, shut up.
Sharice.
I'm not, girl, shut up, Bondi. I'm not
I'm
believing
not
that.
Sharice get
lying.
down like that?
It is.
I am disgusted. Erica Dixon
I
voice.
didn't know
I'm
So am
Sharice got
disgusted.
I.
down like that.
I'm so disgusted.
What?
She got a little girl.
Oh my God.
What?
Sharice,
But the
how
funny thing
desperate
is,
do you got to be
I
to
kid y'all
sleep
I
with
was
not. I
Sharice?
thinking
swear
like,
to
what
God,
was
somebody put
Sharice?
that in the inbox today. That the person that Katie Ross slept with is Sharice.
Bondi, I'm not believing you. I
I
refuse to
dead
believe
ass
you.
thought
No.
about
I
that.
refuse to believe. I refuse to believe it.
Out of everybody. Sharice.
That was the last person I would have thought. Miss Sharice be eating the. Oh my God, she's a carpet
Miss
muncher.
Sharice. Right. Mrs. Sharice. I
Mrs.
can't.
Sharice,
I
not
can't.
Miss
That
Sharice.
was my first thought, and then I was like, no, it had to be Robin, because Robin is just like, she's so nigga-ish. Like, she don't give me salty. Like, she just not
I'm
giving
done.
it. She not dainty. She
I
don't
keep
give off
saying,
none of that
Robin,
energy.
come out the closet, bitch. I see you. We
Cause
will accept you. Okay? It's okay. But your jawline and your haircuts and you liking Giselle the way you do, tell me.
What's that mean? What's that Instagram? That famous video? Come on out, baby. Come on now. Come on
Come on
out.
out the closet, Robin. We will accept you, girl. I promise. Listen.
no, when Robin was talking about her and Juan when they was in Portugal, and she was talking about how she be sending news, I was like, sis, what do your news look like? Because freaking, you not soft, so
Girl,
like, it's so hard body.
Robin looked
Like,
like she was
girl,
on Gladiators, girl.
Oh my goodness.
Robin got a body like
Niecy,
she
you
was
so
on Gladiators.
stupid.
Robin got an 8-pack and some more shit. Like I believe Robin more built than Juan is, to be real with you.
like
Okay.
a visual.
Robin is a
I
Mrs.
what
Steal Your
how
Girl
they
type
get
bitch. Okay? Your arm definition tell me that you was trying to steal Giselle from Jamal. Tell the truth, bitch. Stop lying
girl, her
to us.
arm
You do not
definition,
want wine. And wine don't want you. Tell the truth.
girl, her
I
arm
can't, y'all.
definition make me feel like she be staring up pinto beans all day. That's where her arm
Listen,
definition
I
get me.
feel like a
She
No,
bitch.
got me.
I
She
hate
got them
Lil
other
she
man
need
Kim.
a
arms,
can of
This is
girl.
why
spinach
I
every
No
day.
God.
She
be
need
I-
texting
Girl,
a
she
lot
got
of
them big
girls.
bell arms. Like that's why Juan don't want you. You like I said in my review. She need to dainty it up. She need to feminine it up. She too butch. She too rough. She too much
She
like
need
a
to
nigga.
just be
She
a
needs
part of
to.
B2K reunion show and give us Lil Fizz realness. Because I'm telling you, that's what the girls like. They love a nice stud bitch with good arm
Right,
definition. You could be out here
right,
winning, sweeping up all the hoes in Potomac.
right, right.
So
And you would be a lot
Speaking of
more
like Lil
interesting, Robin.
Fizz,
can I say something?
I could see her really being a stud because then like the throwback pictures when remember they went to counseling and they was doing like the throwback pictures of her and Juan back in school. I was like, Juan, this is what you was after? Cause she was not doing it.
I'm
I mean,
weak.
like, you know, back in high school and all that, we all went through that awkward stage. We look at our pictures and be like, woo, baby. But I was just like, okay.
Maybe he saw her as a homegirl. You know, they could play the Sega Genesis back in the day in the
Oh, yeah.
90s, you know, talk about football, talk
Right,
about Michael Jordan, the Bulls.
right,
Love and basketball.
Yeah.
Love and basketball.
child. They
A
had
beer,
they had pager numbers and everything. Well, I was like, that's my homegirl. We
not
kick
page
That's a
numbers.
homie.
it. That's my homegirl. We kick it. We about to play basketball in a minute. Like the fuck?
She taught me how to eat vagina because
Okay.
I ain't know before her. Listen,
Right.
I taught my male best friend how to eat too, and
Ooh,
I didn't have
child.
to lay down to show him. And I was messing with only girls at the time, so that's why I know Robin life, bitch, because I've lived it.
No, it was
Right.
simple because she met the qualifications. Low key, you know who Robin reminds me of? She and like I'm not saying they look alike, but a lot of their energy and their qualities is the same. She reminds me of Hoops from Flavor of Love.
She
But see,
really
Hoops
do.
can get sexy. Robin
But
can't.
I
Like,
had
Robin
the
can't
biggest
scream
crush on her
on
in school, though. So I feel like that's still making the same point.
Yeah,
Bitch,
I
you
mean,
stealing people's
she gives me
girlfriends.
Hoops energy. Like, you know, one of them, you know, she can go about either way. And also, Robin met the qualifications because she's light skinned with green eyes. Like, y'all, and then if you were
Okay,
to flip the
period.
table and give a dark skinned counterpart who is broad as fuck like that, the next person you would think of is OG from Basketball Wives. OG don't meet the qualifications to be with, I guess, Juan Dixon, quote unquote. I'm not saying it's my opinion. I'm giving stereotypical views.
Ocho.
Yes.
Robin not soft bottom line end of the
Listen.
story. Okay.
I didn't want to fuck OG, so I feel like that's different. And it didn't have nothing to do with her skin tone. I just feel like she wasn't as together as I like my studs to be. Because I feel like at least Robin be cute with her little short cut, her little nice sweater, her little lip every now and again. She give me something. OG wasn't giving me nothing, but I had to be on her side because right is right and wrong is wrong. But I didn't want to fuck her, so I just kind of feel like, no. If I ain't want to fuck her, she ain't gay.
Man, listen, we sitting over here discussing Robin, but listen, Juan somewhere vacating Michael's Badistic somewhere, child. So we may as well just leave this where that's it. We know what Juan.
I'm very interested to see, like, because clearly we saw that they were really close. I want to see, like, how
Yeah,
close
they
are
close
they?
eyes. They close eyes.
They're really,
They this
yeah, like
close.
they're really close.
They this
They're like,
close. Yeah, they close eyes.
But see, I think that okay, so they gotta be they have to have some type of communication, Juan and Michael. But to me, I feel like, first of all, we not gonna act like Michael don't like black people. His little side chick down at the hotel was a chocolate woman, and he head over heels over Juan black ass. So I feel like he does have some type of maybe like he might fetishize black people, right? I think that he just is so fixated on Juan that he's created this thing in his head, like, you know, this my man. I think it's more so in Michael's head more than anything. But it did throw me the fuck off when Juan was like, just me and you, like, nigga, is you playing? And if you playing, don't say that shit, because he really like your ass. And you you creating this picture that I don't like. It don't sit well with me.
You know, I said this a couple of streams ago that it's like the gay guy that likes the football jock, you know, because most football jocks in high school kind of flirts and stuff, and he knows that he's gay, but he uses that for his advantage, and he flirts with the straight boy. But then the straight boy, the gay boy, and then the gay boy gets his heart broken because he realized that he curved him, but he keeps him close just because he likes the attention. He likes being wanted.
And just how you killing me because you said he knows that he's gay. Like, I guess we just gonna operate like it's factual.
I'm sorry, but I'm just saying it
personally
because that's the understanding. But it's just killing me how we all can just base our opinions like that is the factual because it is what it is.
Personally, I do feel like Juan likes the attention, but I also do feel like Juan is using Michael for something. I don't know whether it's money. I don't know what it is, but I do feel like Juan is purposely keeping Michael around for something. I make a lot of jokes. I don't know.
With his finances, or he doing his books, or he hiding tea about who the real woman is that he really
he's just doing something.
That's good. That's a good point, y'all.
Because I've been around. All I hang around are straight men. Most of the straight guys that I hang around, they don't even joke around like that. So when everybody be like, "Oh, well, they're just friends. He just a joke." Nah, no. Especially when you got Ashley walking around saying that he calling other people daddy. I mean.
Oh, y'all, I forgot something. To say something. I had to get on Karen real quick because remember after the Ashley segment, Andy asked Karen about the relationship. What's her thoughts on the relationship with Michael? And she was just like, "Oh, I just hope they just work it out the best. I want them to work out for the kids." You wasn't saying that a few seasons ago. You had the biggest beef with Ashley's husband. I had to call Karen out on that. Remember that? I was like, "What?" It's random, but I'll just think about it.
That ain't random. You
don't feel bad. Yeah, I said that about Karen too. While I still love Karen backpedaled and coochie popped a lot. And as much as I love Monique's story did change a couple times too.
Yeah.
So y'all, because I feel like we're about to get off of, but before we get off of Ashley, do y'all mind if I have a collection play moment? I kind of want to take us to church just for a second. Can I do it?
Come on, Pastor. We got fried chicken, green beans, and refreshments in the back.
So for those of y'all who are here with us today, if you can open your Bibles or your binder and turn to Proverbs 13 and 22, I'm going to read from the King James Version. It says that a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of is laid up and stored for the just. See, the just in this situation is going to be Stubby Darby, because she's going through it right now, Lord. See, Lord, we ask that you have a hedge of protection over Mrs. Stewart Darby. See, you said, Lord, in your word that he which is last shall be first. And see, she was last when she was coming up through the trenches, but she on top now. Holler if you hear me. See, Lord, you said there was a ram in the bush. See, what she did is she went ahead and she went and got the child support bag. I don't think you hear me now. See, with the child support bag, she got baby number one. She pregnant with baby number two. And then she told us on this reunion that there is no longer a prenup. Oh, yes, Lord. You said that in your word, Lord. We here with you right now, Lord. And then she also got the alimony bag. She got the spousal support bag. Oh, yes, Lord. You said that you will prepare a table for them in front of thine enemies. And you see that Ashley is sitting at the table with all these hating ass heifers. Can the church say amen? Praise God. Hallelujah. Oh, yes.
Amen. Woo! I felt that in my spirit.
I felt that too.
I caught it. I felt it. I felt it for a second.
Amen.
No
Hey,
prenup and no
hey.
post-nup, just like I knew, because you really ain't about that life, Ashley.
Wait, but did y'all hear her
Ashley
say that she
is
was
in the-
thinking about getting one now since she pregnant with baby number 2?
She ain't getting one.
I said
No, Ashley is always trying to redirect the narrative. She thinks she's smarter than the average bear. Literally, her husband will do some crazy shit. She will overshare to try to make us feel comfortable in her decision of being foolish. Like, your husband cheated on you. Oh, well, we have threesomes. Okay, well, your husband cheated on you. Oh, well, I cheated too when we were separated. Girl, just go and do you. You ain't leaving.
That's because Ashley is in an arrangement. I keep trying to tell y'all that. Ashley not gonna go up against it. Ashley is gonna come up with a cockamamie story and she's gonna stick by it, no matter how ridiculous and mundane, stupid, idiotic, simple, retarded, retard, tardo, and every other thing that you could put with that. No matter how dumb it sounds, she's just gonna go up with it. I mean, listen, that's where she's at. Ain't nothing we can do about that, y'all. All right, we could sit up and try to figure it out, but it ain't never gonna happen. Ashley got ulterior motives. Ashley's fighting for her life. Her life is on the line, and I'm just choosing to let her have it.
Yeah, use them up. I mean, that's what I
Well,
think.
we ain't trying to. I can speak for myself when I say. Well, all I can say is, speaking for myself, I ain't trying to figure it out. I'm already content with the fact that she's dumb as hell and she gonna stick with a predator because she want the check. I'm already here with it, so it is what it is.
Well, listen, her mammy was living in the damn tent in the backyard. Ashley don't come from no stock. Ashley getting the house she live.
Well, she better for herself.
Ashley getting the house. Somebody came into my comments and said that Ashley is actually worth $5 million by herself because she has some type of exercise clothing line or something like that. Did anybody else hear about that?
To me. Can't find it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just me.
Well,
That's why I threw that out there.
Well, since we on Ashley, before we get off Ashley, I want to address this too, because when they were talking about Ashley's relationship, Giselle has so even just Ashley, when they talked about Ashley's marriage with Michael, and they started talking about Karen's marriage to Ray and how he was struggling with the whole in love with you, not in love with you type of thing. Here comes Giselle 20 minutes ago. She didn't have shit to say. 20 minutes ago, her face was cracking. 20 minutes ago, we could see all 12 of her necks coming up. 20 minutes ago, she was quiet. But 20 minutes later, now that we're talking about somebody else's business, she got so much motherfucking shit to say. I'm so sick of it. And my thing about it is, with Robin, it's like this. When you had so much to say about Monique and her binder, but you have nothing to say when Gizzard sits up and he talks about everybody else and their relationships and their business. So y'all be the main ones that have so much to say about somebody else's relationship, but Giselle, you ain't got no relationship. We just exposed that already. You ain't even got no relationship. So how the fuck can you feel like you have the gall to speak on whether Ray loves Karen or not, or what Ashley's doing with Michael? You need to focus on what you ain't doing with Jezebel Bryant and move on with your life, because you don't want nobody talking about you. So why you talking about them? Because you ain't had shit to say back then, but now you got so much to say now. I just had to say that before we moved off of Ashley, because Giselle irritated me with that. Because you ain't had shit to say then, but you got so much to say now. Okay, them glass houses gonna eventually break when you throw a rock at it. That's all I'm saying. So
that's right.
Let's see. So we get to talking about, I guess, the situation with Monique, her bestie, well, ex-bestie, and Sharice, and this whole rumor and how it came to pass. So I'm gonna allow, because I did see some people in the comments, they were talking about the audio. So I'm gonna put my mic on mute. I'm gonna need Terrence to put his on mute too. So I'm gonna let Sakina, Nisi, and Bundy go first, and have them speak on what they think really happened, because there's a lot of shit being said in regards to this whole Gigi thing, how it really came to the group. So if y'all can expand on what you guys think, how you guys picture it in your opinion. And I'm gonna go ahead and go on mute, and y'all three can go ahead.
I think I really do feel like, first of all, Gigi ain't no damn saint. Like, girl, you're flawed as fuck. If you were ever Monique's friend, you would have never went and did all this shady shit. First and foremost, like, I don't get down with the way that she did this whole thing. So I'm looking at her like, bitch, you're public enemy number one first. And then, like, I just want to know what the hell was her motive, because even if Monique was getting too close for comfort or whatever it was with her trainer, why didn't your loyalty be with your best friend? I don't give a damn if you cool with my husband. You know my husband because of me. We're friends. At the end of the day, you should not go and tell my husband about shit that I got going on. So I'm side-eyeing her like, okay, bitch, I know you married, but did you want my man? Like, did you want my lifestyle? What is it that made you go and tell him about what was going on? Like, that was some weird, flawed shit. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. So then it gets down to Charisse. And I'm feeling like, okay, if Charisse was the one who got it from Gigi and Charisse went and told everybody, the cast and all of that, this must have stemmed from Charisse feeling some type of way about Monique using her contacts and wanting to be like this socialite of Potomac. Like, maybe she still had that type of animosity. So she felt like, okay, well, let me throw some dirt on her name or whatever, so she won't be this socialite of Potomac and try to like steal my thunder or some shit. Like, I don't know what Charisse's point was other than her still feeling some type of way towards Monique and feeling like, you know, she was trying to steal her contacts and all of that. I just think that it's weird. And if that, like I said, Monique should have had smoke for both of them hoes, because they the ones who set it the fuck off. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I would agree. I think she felt like Monique could potentially fumble the bag if she was cheating on Chris. So that's why she was like, hold on, like, if you fumble this bag with Chris, I'm gonna secure mine. So I'm gonna make sure, you know, I'm on the end. She wanted her lifestyle. Next, I kept hearing that Charisse was supposed to be a friend of the season, right? Which explains why we kept seeing her in all these little bitty scenes. She was at all the parties, but they kept editing her out. My next thing from that discussion at the reunion was Gizelle was the one who brought it to the confessionals, right? Andy was trying to protect Gizelle by saying, well, she didn't mention your baby in the confessionals. And based on all the confessionals that they showed us, I am 99% sure Gizelle brought all that information to the confessionals, but for the sake of Bravo not wanting to dig that deep, because they said that Gigi had even come to people in production with that storyline, but Bravo thought it was disgusting and they didn't want to talk about it. For the sake of not bringing that up and also saving Gizelle's ass, Andy edited that out. So I definitely think what Monique is saying is true. The story did come to life that way. Andy really wanted to sweep it under the rug, and he tried to protect Gizelle, which is why I felt some type of way that he said to Monique, well, why are you upset? Because we didn't air it. Y'all were still all discussing it. Like, it was definitely going to be a factor on the show. So yeah, that's how I felt about this situation. I believe what Monique is saying and how I got brought into the group. I think Andy is covering up for Gizelle. Gizelle brought that shit to the confessionals. They edited it out.
Okay, so for me, I feel like, first of all, Gigi was always kind of like, you know, on Monique's coattails in the first place. Then, from what I understand from Monique, it was actually something that was going on in Gigi's life, that she probably was cheating on her man and decided to put that on Monique because Monique stopped talking to her. And I think Monique stopped talking to her because it's like, bitch, why is you having conversations with my husband, bitch? Like, what is that about? So I feel like y'all are absolutely right that the friend Gigi was flawed. I do believe what Monique says, and I don't know why Andy was so confused or why they felt like it was so hard for them to understand that Charisse was a friend to the show. Sharice was friends with Giselle. We saw that because at that last little get together, they were standing next to each other trying to start shit with Karen. And Karen must have came into the room like, this bitch ain't about to be on the camera with me. Move her the fuck out the way, because we ain't see her no more after Karen arrived to that party. Okay? So I agree. I feel like Andy is trying to save face. And I'm just curious to know why. Like, what is the point of trying to lie or skew how the viewers see what happened when you show the video? And you know, a lot of this really does validate what Monique said. And they were just sitting there acting like she was lying.
Okay, I guess I'll go. So, with Gigi, yeah, definitely a flawed individual, definitely. And I'm going to just reference something. First off, shameless plug. If y'all don't follow Bonnie Blue on Station Head, y'all best to do that. She do good work over there. I was on there and I brought up some military-ish, and one particular instance was me knowing of a senior non-commissioned officer cheating on his wife with a lower enlisted non-commissioned officer while sleeping in the bed with his wife, and we all in Korea. Now, I know all of this. We're not friends by any means, but again, I know all this information. If I was a trash ass person, I could have easily went to where his wife worked, because I know where she worked, and be like, you want to know what your husband been doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's not my lane to do it. Now, I eventually brought it to him, and that's only because he was hounding me for some shit he needed to hound me about. But it's one of those, like, you need to know your respective lane, because the reality is this: I knew old boy. I don't know his wife like that. In this instance, Gigi, you are friends and you know Monique, not the husband. So if you feel that your good girlfriend is moving in a real shady way, as a friend, you pull your friend to the side and then you talk to your friend about it. And then if your friend doesn't want to switch up how she's doing things, that's when you just say, you know what, I'm cool on you. I'm going to go over here and just leave the shit alone. There's that. Also, with this whole entire thing, I don't know if Gunique had this in her binder or not, but I wonder why they didn't play the Instagram clip of Post-it note literally confirming the plot that was going on. And within that Instagram video, she when I tell you, I had nothing to do with it, but smooth through the other women right up under the bus. So yeah, Andy can say, well, we didn't bring it to the show. Now, I don't know if it was Andy or if it was his producers, but y'all let that confessional air. So why is it that we're not truly unpacking this? Part of me feels that Andy feels that they might get some heat from not Candace, Monique and her lawyers, and I think that's why they played the way that they did. But it's a lot more that could have been said. And I know a lot of people are saying they don't understand, you know, the whole timeline thing. And this is one of those, like, you had to have literally been following Monique when all this came out. But if I'm not mistaken, and Bonnie, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that Monique even brought this out until she saw that confessional of Giselle mentioning this whole plot, and that's when she and her husband did the live. So had that not even happened, we probably wouldn't. Am I right or am I wrong about it?
Honestly,
right.
I think it wasn't even a confessional. It was Candace getting on live. When Candace got on live on Instagram, Monique got on live right after that. And then it was kind of like they were going back and forth for like a whole week, where it was like a live every damn day. But I for sure feel like it was not just Giselle's confessional, but definitely Candace's live that she did to confirm and put it out there before Monique had even said anything. So for her to get on the show and act like in some way, shape, or form Monique was lying or over exaggerating, it was like, well, bitch, you was the first person to confirm that.
For me, I said on my live, and I also said on my review last night, Gigi's motives for telling Chris that was because she wanted Chris. I stand by that 1010%, because much like everybody done said, and I said this, I said, if me and you are good Judies, I'm not about to go to your man before I come to you. I'm not going to do that. I believe Gigi probably wanted Chris in a way.
That's what her
And I'm going to
wig
be
said.
real. And I like Monique. I like Monique a lot. And I don't want no smoke, Momo. But I do, and I'm just going to be honest. I do feel like half of what Gigi was saying was some truth. I do. I do kind of believe that. Now, I'm not saying Monique slept with the trainer. I don't believe that. But I do believe that they may have been flirting. I do believe she probably gave him too long of a hug. You know
Well,
what
you
I'm
know,
saying?
Gigi came out recently. She came out this week and said that she never said that they were sleeping together, but that Chris should be worried because the trainer seems to like Monique. So if that was the truth, then fine. But that's definitely not what was out when the story first
Right,
hit. So
right,
I feel like
right.
Gigi has definitely changed her story.
I agree. I do agree. Trust me, I agree. But I do
I did agree
also
on
feel like
it.
there may have been some inappropriateness going on with them because even when the beginning of the episodes first started happening, they already made it known that there were some small issues down to the home anyway. And then around this time, if we're going by the timeline, this was when she had the trainer. So I do feel like at best, there probably was some flirting. I do not believe that Monique slept with that man. I don't believe any of that. I don't believe they had a one night stand or a secret rendezvous. I don't think that. But I do feel like there was something to what Gigi was saying. At the end of the day, Gigi was wrong as two left shoes. And the only reason why she said it was because she wanted that man. That's how I feel, period.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all of you guys. I think that Gigi definitely had a motive behind that, and she's definitely no one friend because you don't go behind your friend back and then speak to her husband. So it's always some type of motive towards that. So everybody did have a good point, and man, she just a thirst bucket. Monique's friend, just a thirst bucket, trying to be on the show, trying to have some clout. And there is, I believe that the truth is there, but it's been so construed and mixed up and tossed and thrown out the window that you don't know what to believe at this point.
Listen, I feel like this. I don't want nobody else coming out speaking out if they didn't come to the reunion. Because the reunion is the place for you to do it. Because if a bitch wanna you know what I'm saying, come against you and you got all type of evidence or proof or receipts or whatever, I feel like that's the time for them to come. Like I didn't want to hear from Jamal over social media. I wanted to hear from his ass on the stage. And I feel the same way about
And
Gigi. Girl, bring your ass on stage and say that.
Jamal, Gigi,
I know
and Mrs.
too.
Sharice should have been on the show to speak their part because Sharice had a big part in this too with the mess. Mrs. Sharice, excuse me.
I just want to say right quick, like I know we're going to get to it, but I did want to say, with all of the antics that Post Note was doing this reunion, for those of y'all who watch Basketball Wives and the reunion of this last season, how they were trying to put, OG finally did it, but trying to put her on the stage by herself because the girls were afraid. I feel that Candace should have been out on the stage by herself, or going back to Love and Hip Hop when what is that girl name who's with Safari right now? Erica Mena had her in the room by herself and had her patched in. Like, if you are really this traumatized and everything else, she should have been off and by herself. But I know we're going to get there. I just want to get that out.
Oh, Andy wasn't going to play that. Andy was not going to be here for that.
If he really, this tells me that he didn't really take the situation as seriously as Candace was portraying it, because if we didn't see her the whole season saying she was traumatized, why the fuck would you play that video with Candace sitting out there with Monique there? Like, I felt like that was absolutely a trigger. And then I saw somebody asked a valid question. They said Andy doesn't have control of editing, and if he did, why would they show the footage of the fight going against what he said? And my answer to that is because the footage is already out there and the footage already aired. So if they didn't show it there, social media was going to break it down. However, they still have time to edit what Giselle says in her confessionals because they didn't put that out there yet. So I do think he was trying to cover stuff up by not fully showing what Giselle was talking about. And I started off talking about this. I really do think Charisse was meant to be brought in as a friend of the show, but once they realized what her purpose was and how messy the situation could be, they spun the editing and they got her out.
Don't nobody want to see her tied, dusty ass. How many times I got to tell y'all that, girl, we don't want to see Charisse. We don't want to see Charisse. Charisse don't need to be a friend of the show. I don't want to see Charisse, period. I don't. And I'm only speaking for me. I don't want to see Charisse.
But okay. But Terrence.
Girl, bye.
The reason why people want to see Charisse and her baby, listen to what the fuck. Don't worry about me, bitch. Let me say what I gotta say. The reason why people may want to see Charisse in her bad wigs is because her name has been brought up so much this season, and she has a lot to do with some of the drama that's going on. I'm not saying bring her to the show as a friend or anything like that. I'm saying she should have been at the damn reunion to explain her part in this story because her name keeps coming up. It's been coming up from the very beginning. So I want to hear what the fuck she got to say. Damn, Gigi, I want to hear what she got to say since her name is in. That's the only reason I want to see her.
But one thing I want to say,
we
though,
already know what her part is. Her part was to help facilitate a space for that rumor to be brought, for this rumor to be brought. Charisse helped spread it. Charisse didn't start it. Gigi did. But Charisse helped put legs on the shit because she helped spread it.
But people are saying that that's a lie, though. So I gotta hear what she got to say.
Right quick, the one thing that I wanted to bring up is, because I know this came up during the season with the whole post-it notes and Charisse thing and whatnot. I'm gonna be all the way honest. Like, if y'all are truly friends, and I'm talking about Monique and Candace, if y'all truly friends, I'm pretty sure y'all had the dialogue. You've already came and Charisse neck, let her know, like, I ain't got no other personalities. I'm Candace. I just pop out. Where I come from, I came from Jesus. Y'all already had this dialogue, and if you are friends with Monique, I'm pretty sure Monique had already told you where they currently lie. I don't know why that has to be refreshed for you. So when y'all have this falling out when she wanted to drag you pregnant, then you conveniently befriend her, but you're saying, oh, I didn't know y'all really had beef like that. So you really didn't know. You really didn't know.
Thank you. I said that on my live this morning too.
I think she probably did know, but at the same time, I don't feel like it would be a reach for Candace to actually be cool with Charisse because Charisse was on the show for 2 seasons. And I mean, I feel like, yeah, they could be friends. I mean, best friends, I don't know, but I feel like they would be friends to the point where she can invite her as a damn filler or, a part of the Potomac franchise to invite her to her anniversary party.
I get that, but at the same time, and I said this on my live too. If because everybody want to go by timelines, I'm finna do the same damn shit. Why not? If that's the case, why did you pick this time to want to then be so close to Charisse? Because when me and you were cool, and me and her wasn't cool, you ain't had no problem with just letting her fall by the wayside. But then the minute me and you got cool, oh no. When me and you stopped being as cool as what we once was being, now all of a sudden you want to be real cool with Charisse. And you want to invite Charisse to this. And you want to invite Charisse to that. Agree. So I mean, if we're going by timelines, at the end of the day, it does make Candace look suspect. Because all this other time, when I was running down on it, you was doing the same damn thing.
I think she was being passive aggressive.
But it make Monique look in the picture the bitch that she said is lying on her and her husband. So that's also suspect too. That's probably why Candace didn't think that they had to be because she's sitting up in pictures with a bitch. If I don't like somebody, I'm not being in no picture with them.
But if that's the case,
you know what I mean?
Y'all
why
say
can't
that,
you just
but
say
when
something to
everybody's
her?
on the show and they just kind of conditioned to get together, girls. It's for the show. Like, I just kind of feel
Right.
like that's easier said than done.
Right.
And even if the issue wasn't that big, I refuse to believe that the two people who were closest, which was Monique and Candace, never had a conversation about how she felt about Sharice. And
Right.
also, let's not forget that Candace didn't take that whole plantation to Monique. She didn't. That
Right.
was another
Yeah.
reason why Monique was upset, because she was there and she
Right.
didn't tell Monique. She told Karen, and
Yeah.
Karen told
Right.
Monique. So I feel
Right.
like it was a lot of things that started to make her feel like, well, bitch, I'm being more of a loyal friend to you than you being to me.
I think their
You
relationship
think
was still fractured from season 4. Even though they hugged Big Sis, Little Sis, and made up, I think it was still weird, and Candace
Oh
still
yeah.
didn't know where their relationship lay.
For sure.
And I also think with the whole picture thing, Sharice hadn't been on the season for at least on the show for at least 2 seasons. So I don't think she had to take that picture with Sharice. But I also can see how Candace was
That's how I
like,
feel
okay,
too.
Candace is probably saying, okay, so since you being strategic and you being friendly with the girls, the similar factor between Monique and Candace is that they both want to be in good graces of the majority. So if Candace saw Monique playing to that, Candace was probably like, okay, well, I'm gonna play to it too. And my other thing is, if Candace didn't bring Sharice on the show, somebody else would have. Candace made the mistake of allowing Giselle and the other girls to use her event and to use her situations to bring Sharice on the show. And what she should have done was
Right.
allowed Giselle to bring Sharice on the show.
I
But
agree with that.
with that,
I
I
agree
Yeah.
with
mean,
that.
if to be fair, Monique falls into this same, I guess we could say, I don't want to say timeline, but this same stream of events, because with the whole, what was Giselle's girlfriend name, Kylie or something like that. Start with whoever the
oh,
damn girl
Kyle.
was, whoever the girl was, but obviously that was Sharice trying to bring her on, and Monique allowed Sharice to put a battery in her back to bring this woman on the show to
You
fuck
talking about
with Giselle, which I'm all the way here for. But it seems like, and again, I love both Candace
Sherman
and
and
Monique.
Kendall.
There it is. But these two situations, in essence, really kind of parallel each other. Where it's like, okay, well, Monique, you did bring Kendall on to disrupt Giselle, which she had every right to, because Giselle was coming for us, and she said, "I have 4 homes." But now Candace is doing the same exact thing. Now, again, is it right? No, it's not. But also, if you even work cool with somebody, you see them take a photo with somebody they fell out with, is it really hard to be like, "Hey, friend, I thought you wasn't fucking with her. Like, what's tea? What's going on?"
I'm with
Communicate
that.
all of these
I'm with
women.
that. I'm
It's
with
just
that.
weird to me.
I'm with that.
It's just weird because I'm not taking a
Yeah.
picture with no bitch that I like.
Yeah, because if it
Spreading the
was
rumors. Why
Yeah.
the fuck would I take a picture with you? Because Giselle could have been over there where Sharice was. Like, they should have swapped. They could have swapped you hugging onto her waist and all of this and smiling for the camera, and you sitting at the same table, but you big mad at Candace for having her at the anniversary. Like, that just does not make sense to me. You can't be this mad, but you willing to take a picture with the fucking ops. Like, I know pictures is just pictures, but bitch, I'm not putting my hands, I'm not playing buddy with you if that's not what it really is in real life. Like, if we gonna use like street logics and shit like that, you gotta think about it. Bitch, I'm not smiling in your face if I really don't fuck with you. Not for no picture, not for no Potomac shit, especially when she could have been on the opposite end. You was
And my
I,
thing
I
about it is as well,
definitely
though,
feel you on that. I feel you on
she
that
got mad with
1010%.
Candace about the whole party situation, and she said she needed to be mentally prepared for to be around Sharice. Were you mentally prepared to take that fucking picture with her? I mean, it's just it's all weird. Like this whole beginning is fucking weird to me, which is why I was dragging the shit out of her to begin with at the beginning of the season, because it's all weird. And I don't know. And then it's
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, Monique
um,
also made it very clear that she did not want to bring up the situation about the trainer and her family and all that shit. Monique did make that clear. She didn't really want to talk about that. And I guess with Sharice being up there, that's basically giving Sharice a platform to say, well, this is why she don't like me, because Gigi told me a story and I somehow kind of believe it. And then she asked me about, well, who can I go to with this story? And then you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The
but
only
all
thing I'll give with the photo op is if I gathered all this correctly, Ashley's baby shower wasn't filmed. Now
No,
that
it
does
wasn't.
make me side eye look. If this photo op was for Real Housewives of Potomac, but it wasn't filmed, that does make me side eye Monique ever so slightly. But if this event isn't being filmed and she took the picture, okay. But now that we're filming and we're doing this anniversary thing, and I know that this girl has been behind the scenes trying to bring this to the light, I can see why it's the whole, why couldn't you just give me a heads up? And I can understand that, like, I mean, and this is me, and I think I said in my review, like, no, I didn't. I recorded my review, but it didn't work, so I went live. But I've even said, like, I have a personality where I can affect an atmosphere. Maybe it's a Capricorn in me, I don't know. But I've gotten to a point where if somebody invite me to an event, okay, who all gonna be there? Wait, who you say? No, I ain't going. Because I'm not finna go to this event and fuck up your shit. Now, if you insist that I go, okay, well, now that I know this person is there, okay, I must try to figure some things out and be like, okay, if certain things happen, I'll maneuver this way or that way, because I'm not trying to sit here and turn the fuck up and make your event about me. And I think that's what Monique was trying to go with. But again, I have to admit that some of how Monique was moving from the baby shower even up until there, yes, some of that is flawed. Again, like I said, I love Monique and Candace, but I'm gonna call it out like it is. Like, it is a little bit flawed and it is a little bit suspect.
And I agree.
It
Like, I
is.
feel like
I
no matter how much I point out how I don't agree with the way Monique handled it, it's like it's falling on deaf ears. So it doesn't even matter
Yeah,
what I say about it, because everybody's still gonna think
yeah.
I'm being biased. Fuck. Hold up, y'all. My nose ring. Child, it's hell.
I'm with you.
But anyway, what I will say though is that I feel like when it comes to like photo ops and shows and shit like that, I just kind of feel like it's one thing. Oh, let's hurry up and take this picture. It's a whole nother thing to feel like my friend don't have my back. And I feel like when we put things into perspective for Monique, it was more so that there is a habitual thing happening with Candace versus, oh, it's just this one instance where she invited somebody I didn't like. I don't think it was just that. I think it was like a culmination of things that made her feel like Candace is not being a real friend to me right now. And I think no matter what anybody says, Candace pretended to be okay at the end of the reunion last year, and she really wasn't. And I
Right.
think that after the fact, she was
Thanks.
passive aggressive in the way she was moving with Monique. And even though we can put it all on Monique and say, hey, Monique, why didn't you just talk to Candace? I can remember a time when Candace tried to talk to Monique and Monique was non-responsive. And then there was a time when Monique was trying to talk to Candace and Candace was
And Candace was
unresponsive.
responsible.
So I feel
Mhm.
like, they both played a part in the breakdown of their friendship, and it's unfortunate because I was rooting for them, you two bitches. Okay, I was rooting for y'all two bitches to be a clique, and y'all just went ahead and ruined that for us. We wanted
Right.
y'all to team up and read the piss out of Robin and Giselle, and maybe
Right.
Ashley a little bit. But look what y'all
Right.
did, bitch. Monique won't come and become friends with Ashley, forcing me to have moments where I'm like, okay, Ashley, like, whatever, bitch. But I don't really like
Right.
her. And then I'm looking at Candace like, bitch, I love the way you read, but yeah, you all going too far. And why are you like bucking for Giselle? Like she wasn't doing the same thing to you,
Right.
last season as she did to
Right.
Monique this season. She like blamed
Right.
you for everything. They bullied you into
Right.
apologizing to Ashley, who was coming at your neck just like you was coming at hers. So
Right.
I'm lost at why everybody
Right.
wants to give Giselle and her vagina neck a pass on her foolishness. I'm
Right.
lost because of
Right.
Andy, and I'm lost because of the way Candace and Monique have responded throughout the season. The only person that makes sense to me at this point is Karen, because Karen has
Mhm.
her eyesight straight on Giselle, and I
Right.
appreciate her for that.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
but let me
definitely
say
right.
this. there's two things that I want to address because I see it in the comment section. So I'm gonna address this. It's two things. One thing is this. Someone asked why wasn't Ashley pressed because they feel like Ashley got all this shit going when she came to Giselle, even though they showed it in the flashback clip on the very first episode when Ashley came to Giselle and said that when Monique and Sharice fell out, Candace made it her business to get closer to Sharice as they fell out. And that's what she told Giselle. And Giselle came back and told Monique that, which started this whole little beef once again, spurred it up between Candace and Monique. So that's one thing I want us to talk about. And the second thing is someone said that also mentioned that Candace was mad at Monique when she first started being cool with Ashley. So with that question is, do you think that Candace probably felt, okay, well, since this bitch then got cool with Ashley, even though we beefing, it shouldn't be an issue with me being cool with Sharice when you did the same thing with a bitch that I don't like. So let's address those two topics. I see Terry shaking his green head. Let him go first, and then whoever want to go next can. So go ahead.
The only thing I want to address, honestly, is the whole correlation between Sharice and Ashley. At the end of the day, Sharice was facilitating a space for, Gigi to do whatever the fuck she wanted to do as far as with the rumor and every damn thing like that. So if me and you are cool and you my friend and you know that this is what this bitch is running around here doing, which can destroy my family, my husband, my kids. Like it would affect a lot of people. So I'm kind of with that. Now, with your other question, I mean, child, listen, I'm addressing what I want to address, and that's what I wanted to address. Okay, when it came to that situation, Ashley and Sharice are like apples and oranges to me. It is. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
To oh, I thought I was muted. But I really can't even remember the question to be honest. Sorry.
okay, so here's the two things. The first thing is someone said, why wasn't Ashley pressed? And she told Giselle that Sharice and Candace became friends after Monique and Sharice stopped being friends. And she said that Candace was trying so hard to be friends with Sharice after Monique had fallen out with her. And, Giselle went back and told Monique the same thing that Ashley said to her. Now, someone said we have to remember that Candace and Ashley weren't cool. Even though they weren't cool, they still got the shit lit the match right there and gave it to Sharice, and Sharice set it on fire when she told Monique. That's the first thing. The second thing is someone mentioned that someone mentioned that Candace was upset with Monique for befriending Ashley while they were beefing. So do you think that Candace probably befriended Sharice because she probably felt like, okay, you befriended this bitch when I wasn't cool with her, so it shouldn't be an issue for me to befriend Sharice now that you're not cool with her. So those are two things that I want to do. So go ahead, kind of.
Um, I'll answer for the second one. I could see Candace doing that tit for tat thing and trying to be friend Sharice because for real, that is what really started making me side eye Monique. I had always been indifferent when it came to her. Like, I liked her because she was always on the opposite end of Giselle. Like, she would get her together, blah, blah, blah. But then I started kind of side eyeing her once I realized, like, girl, you really want to be the green eyed bandit friend, like friends for real. Like, you really want to be down with them. So then for Monique to go and like try to throw Candace under the bus, showing text messages to Ashley and all of that shit, that was weird to me. Like, girl, why are you going out of your way to kiss Ashley ass when she just tried to make it seem like you a drunk bitch who lost your baby because of it? Like, that type of thing is what really made me kind of side eye the way Monique moved. So I think that is probably why Candace tried to be friend Sharice, to be on some shady shit. And like Bonnie said, trying to be passive aggressive. But yeah, I see her doing it. That's all I gotta say about that.
I'll have to agree. I do think it was some petty tit for tat stuff. Yeah, that was super weird. Like I said, it goes back to both Monique and Candace having some complex of wanting to be in the good graces of the Green Eye Bandits, the ops. I don't know why I guess it's just because it's a majority. I guess naturally you want to appeal to the majority. So that's what they wanted to do. Now, my unpopular opinion is I really need to know the timing of when this rumor came up, because I think Candace was motivated by being friends with Charisse only because Monique was friends with Ashley. I'm not sure if Monique actually had that breakdown conversation about the rumor with Candace, because their relationship was still fractured after season 4. So she may not have gone into detail with Candace about what her beef was with Charisse at that time.
Yeah, like you guys said, I mean, I feel like this whole downfall of their friendship is they're just horrible. And I think when it comes to Candace, she was definitely getting back at Monique before becoming friends with Ashley, because I mean, Monique and Ashley ain't been cool. You know, they just started getting cool the second half of last season. So I mean, I really want them to be good friends. I want them to heal and repair their relationship. However, it's been so much underhanded, dirty, behind the scenes mess and drama that won't ever happen, unfortunately. But I really want them to come together and, you know, just try to at least rebuild that friendship. But it's not going to happen, unfortunately.
Counseling, that's the only thing. I will watch.
In Jesus.
Can I get a special, Andy? If y'all, I didn't got some petitions. If y'all want to start a petition, the people in the comments, start a petition. Andy, go ahead and cut Monique and Candace a bonus check and give us a special in the middle, in between seasons of Candace and Monique going to counseling.
And bring it. No, they need Ayana, Fix My Life. Bring her on there.
I don't care who,
you know, because she will get it. She will break it down. She will call them out. She will call them both out.
Or
Not on my watch.
Right.
Okay, yes.
Like how they did on the Braxtons. Bring
that's what I want
Ayana
to see.
out.
Or
I love this
is
cast. If
Ashley
Andy wants to repair
only
it, that's what he needs to do.
or is Ashley only being friends with Monique only because of the fact that Monique stopped those tapes from being shown? Could that be
No.
the only reason why she
Absolutely.
feels so dead
I don't think.
hard
I'ma say
loyalty
this.
to Monique? I'm just asking.
I understand that might be a part of it. I'll give y'all that. But I believe that when Ashley had her baby, Monique was there for her the most. And in becoming a new mother and needing somebody to call and ask what to do, at some point a real friendship started to happen between the two of them. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like it either. And I did feel like it was a strategic friendship. But I also feel like along the way, they became of value to each other in different places. Because they really did share shit with each other. Like when Ashley was like, you know, I told Monique about what was going on. Like Monique knew about the threesome situation, them having other people in their relationship, and act surprised on camera. Okay. So to me, I feel like at the end of the day, there was a whole bunch of shit that she could have sprayed Ashley with and decided not to. So even if that was strategic, I want a friend that's gonna keep my messy shit to herself, even when she doesn't have to. Because you see some of the other girls, how they handle each other. I don't even think that Giselle handles Robin the right way. Because as soon as she got mad at Robin, what happened? All of this, Robin. Why buying rings? Bitch, that's not even a read. But you see, she was trying to come at her own friend. So, you know, I just kind of feel like at the end of the day, yes. Ashley and Monique's friendship started out as something that was strategic, but I think along the way became somewhat of a real friendship.
I can agree with that.
I agree with Ryan.
I can agree with
Yep, because we know that Monique is super mommy. Okay, she probably trained babies at the age of 2 months and shit. So I do feel like she was definitely a support system for her. And I also do think that they do have a friendship of convenience because of those tapes, and that kind of built like a bond between them, and then like her having that baby just kind of built up on that. So it started off fishy, and I do be side-eyeing it still, but yeah, I do feel like they really have a pact per se.
Well, they were.
I respect it more than that shit between Candace and Giselle.
Yeah, hell yeah, because as we all said, that was a Giselle is only Team Candace because the bitch that she don't like jumped on her. So that was her way to try to get rid of Monique. Like, oh yeah, okay. Because remember, at the top of the season, Giselle was stirring the pot and they was planning on kicking Candace out. Candace was the one that was supposed to be iced out. But the plot twist, it was Monique. So all of a sudden Giselle wanted, okay, well, we just gonna go here with it. And yeah, now I'm not fucking with you, Monique. Like, yeah, that is a friendship of convenience if I've ever seen one, for real. Giselle ain't really here for Candace like that.
And I can't wait
This
to
is
see
why
the
I can't
downfall of.
This is why I can't stand it when Candace be trying to defend Giselle. Like, this is why I can't stand when she tries to, because this woman don't like you. Like, she only fucking with you because you got into a fight with someone that she like. She did want to get rid of this bitch. So for you to get into an altercation with her and you rally the troops up and everybody say, okay, we're gonna get this bitch off the show. Let's stop filming with her. It's like the same shit that happened on Basketball Wives. All them bitches said they wasn't gonna film with Royce. It was just like also on Basketball Wives when all them chicks said we're not gonna film with Brandy. We're gonna do whatever we can to. And this is my way of doing it. Just like Tammy really didn't have a reason to dislike Brandy on Basketball Wives, but she only did that to appease Master Splinter and Evelyn. That's why she did that.
I'm glad
So
you
it is
said
what
that.
it is.
Why
That's
somebody
all.
gonna say today that Tammy wasn't a bully? I said child lies. I know y'all remember Keisha.
Right.
Yeah, but Tammy has even admitted Tammy has admitted that she's a bully, and if you look at her YouTube channel and her recapping Real Housewives of Potomac, she's fessed up to a lot of this. Now she's gone behind the curtain and said production wanted this and this and this and this to happen, but regardless of what they wanted, I still did these things. So yeah, we not gonna bring Tammy because Tammy is a real one. Whether you like her or you hate her, Tammy is a real one.
Let me
Like,
propose
the
a
shit
question
that she
to
did on
y'all.
that show, some of that shit was uncalled for. She definitely preyed on the weak when it came down to Keisha. Like, you knew that girl was not about to go against you. That girl was scared as hell.
Okay, okay, but look, and we gonna keep it a buck though. But she also came for Evelyn and everybody. So Tammy was with it with everybody. So we're not gonna say that Tammy only went for the small people though.
That she did not. Yeah, she was
when she dished it, she could take it. She never went nowhere crying about, oh, I'm the victim. No, at the end of the day, bitch, I'm coming right back at you hoes. And I was using her to make that point. And somebody was like, Tammy wasn't even really a bully. I was like, shit. What's that?
Listen.
Okay, but what Tammy was doing is, I mean, one, she was making great reality television, no matter how you want to slice it. But she also fell victim to what a lot of people fall victim to, and that's the producers pretty much putting the bug in your ear to do X, Y, Z, or do A, B, and C, and her being gullible in the moment to go forth and do it. But again, you've never, to my knowledge, I've never heard Tammy cry victim saying, I was this and this and this, and I didn't mean. Tammy stood in her shit every fucking chance. Like, even with the last season, not the last season, but season before, she was still going at it with the fucking Evelyn. She caught so much fucking flack for saying you lied on Chad because you a weak ass bitch. You know you was fighting it like she. So I mean, Tammy was still on one from day one up until when she left the show.
Was the real weak one because she was the one that was trying to go after the weak people. Evelyn never stood up Tammy the way that she would go after all the other girls who really didn't want that much smoke with her. Like Evelyn,
she was still seated, calling her a non-motherfucking factor. She was seated though.
And look, Evelyn don't fight. Evelyn throws shit. Evelyn don't fight. Evelyn throws shit. Tammy throws something, and it's them hands that Tammy throw.
Child, I never forget when she threw that bottle at your girl who wasn't trying to fight nobody. Do y'all remember that? She threw the bottle at
Oh,
the girl,
Kenya,
almost hit Stormy
yeah.
in the fucking head. That's why it made me so mad the way they treated OG. Because I was like, Shawnee, you almost got your head bust by this bitch. And you gonna sit up here and act like you're scared of OG, who's never physically assaulted anybody? That made me so mad.
That
And
season
y'all,
was
I'm still
triggering.
feeling like I don't know if I'm going back to that show. Fuck them.
It really was.
I forgot about all this. Y'all are pulling
Can
memories
I
out
ask
of
y'all
my
a
head.
question?
Keisha.
What's the question?
Can I pose a question to y'all? And I said this in my review last night.
Terrence, I'm a whore,
Huh?
not a hoe, but what's your question?
Oh, my question is, do y'all? Because a lot of people come at me, they say that I'm a colorist and all of the rest of this shit. So I want to ask y'all, do
I
y'all
always say that
believe
about
that it's solely jealousy as to why Giselle don't like Monique? Or do y'all feel like it's a little bit of colorism involved in that? Because and the only reason why I say that, I'm asking y'all for y'all opinion. Because it seemed like the minute she found out that Monique had more than she did, she got completely upset and she wanted her off the show. She didn't like her at all after that. And there was nothing that Monique could have ever done or said to Giselle to make Giselle not like her. So do y'all feel like it was only because of jealousy? Or do y'all feel like because Monique is a pretty brown-skinned woman, and then Giselle
No.
found out that she had more than what she had, it was such a big deal? I'm just
I
asking.
think it's both. I think
She
it's both because Monique had light eyes and she was more brown and still was cute and still showed up with all of the monies and could dress and everything. So yeah, I do believe that it is jealousy, but I also think that she picked up on Monique wanting to appease the queen bee. At the end of the day, I think Monique wants to be liked, and I think she picked up on that, and she has exploited that most of the time on the show. Yeah, we can say, oh, because of the Kendall situation, but I kind of feel like, girl, you knew good and goddamn well that you and Sherman was gonna break up because of you and Sherman, and it didn't have anything to do with Monique and Kendall as much as it had to do with you being messy within yourself. So I believe it was a little bit of both.
I think it's both too, but with the colorism thing, and I mean, you know, buddy, I hate it. It's always you and me having to do these damn history lessons, but damn it, I'm gonna do it today. With the whole colorism thing, first and foremost, people have to understand what the colorism and where it stems from. Obviously, it stems from slavery, obviously, and a lot of it being the European Americans having sex with the African Americans, having a mulatto child, and then because okay, well, this is part of my child, I want to treat them with some type of compassion. So now you're the house Negro, and with the child, it's like okay, well, this is my father. I'm living a better life than the rest of my counterparts. So I want to do what I can to protect my father. But in order to protect my father, I need to be a little bit more harsher on the other ones. But I'm close enough to them where I can still feed some of that stuff back to my father. And that's a whole history lesson we can go through another day. But I say all that to say this. I think part of it is, especially from then up until now, whether or not we know it or not, we've all either experienced or witnessed colorism. And I do know a lot of fair-skinned African American women that really feel I don't have to try hard because I look a certain way where I can pass or I can at least pass the brown paper bag test. So I don't have to do a whole lot. But now here's this chocolate skinned woman that I didn't have to try hard. I was married to a pastor, but this is where I ended up at. Yeah, you have this woman right here that is darker than me, for the most part, really not trying, but look at what all she has compared to what I have. So, yes, there is some envy there, but I do feel part of that is some colorism with her feeling that because of my fair skin, my light eyes, I should be further than where I actually am. And then if you compare me to the other fair skin African Americans on the cast, well, Doobie Wig don't really fucking count because look where the fuck she at. But you have Karen, where even though she's living the way that she lived, we not finna pretend like Karen didn't come from money. That Karen cut a check from the money she gets from the farm to help her husband out. So of course she feels inadequate even amongst the fair-skinned African Americans because look where I'm at. Okay, well Robin don't compare, so I can use her to my advantage.
At
But
least Robin can dress.
I would disagree with that. I would definitely. I have to disagree with the colorism. I don't see Giselle being a colorist or a part colorist because number one, she's closer with. She's really cool with Wendy, who's a more darker woman, and
That's
I
because
think that
Wendy
is
is an AKA. Let's not forget.
Yeah,
that
that's the
colorism
only
does
reason
kind of
why.
placate in her being a sorority
Right,
girl.
right, right. I feel like
And
that's the
Wendy
only
did
reason
fall
why
in
she
line, Josiah.
tolerates Wendy is because she's her soror. I believe if she plays Delta or Zeta or SG Row, Monique would give her the same damn treatment that she gave every damn body else. That's how I honestly feel. I
And
do.
listen, she is colorist because she does think that because she's lighter complected, she's better and she doesn't have to try. Look at her life. What has she actually done for herself in her life? Nothing. And it's because she has relied on her looks her entire life. The bitch can't even dress because she has relied on her light skin and her pretty eyes so much. So
okay.
trust me,
Makes
it
sense.
plays through. It may not be on purpose, but I think
Yeah.
a lot of the racism and prejudice and colorism that we experience is underlying and not necessarily something that's in our forefront of our minds. But it does stream through with the way we treat each other. Because at the end of the day, they did treat Ashley better than they treated Candace, even though they were saying some of the same nasty shit to each other. It was Candace that needed to apologize to Ashley. So
Right,
let's not
right.
forget about that.
Y'all
I
are
agree.
saying exactly what I was thinking. It's not as simple as saying Giselle is a colorist. She don't like Monique because she's brown skinned and she got more money than her. I think she's jealous. For one, we can get that out the way. For two, I think Monique fuels a certain sense of insecurity that Giselle has because all her life she's been told that she is that one because she is light skinned with the green eyes. So for Monique to come and kind of shake that narrative for her, it's making her feel like she can't really compete. Like your looks aren't enough to compete with someone who has everything that you want. So I don't think it's as direct as her saying, "Oh, look at this dark skinned woman," thinking it's like, "What's wrong with me?" So I think that's her insecurity peeking out.
I think the same thing. She definitely has some coloristic, is that a word? Coloristic ways about her. It's jealousy for sure because like y'all said, Giselle been leading with looks. I mean, even though she falls flat on the outside and the inside for real, she's not Giselle is not a catch. She's a pretty woman, but to be honest, she's not a catch. Her attitude is nasty. She's not a baddie. So it's just, and I'm saying like the total package of a baddie. You gotta walk the walk, talk the talk. You gotta do the whole thing. And she just don't have it. To me, I feel like she is just like when the preferred is not preferred. Like you feeling some type of way because, oh my gosh, I'm light skinned, green eyes, I'm supposed to be the shit, but here you go, you got Monique and she got more than me. I mean, make it make sense. It kind of put me in like the mindset of like B. Simone and Danny Lee. Like, yeah, the preferred is not preferred. You looking at yourself like, oh my gosh, he don't want me, the light-skinned girl, but he want to go with the Latina girl. Like, that's what it was giving me. That's what put me in the mindset of that.
And they showed the flashback from season 1, and what drew Giselle and Robin together was that they were both light skinned with green eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I keep seeing people say that Robin is a Delta. So yes, but what drew them together is that they was both light skinned with green eyes. So that lets you know that she does operate in a way to where she is, summarizing your physical or summarizing how she compares up against somebody else before she decides how she wants to treat you.
But even with the colorism, one thing that I don't want people to really miss is a lot of this is literally forced into us, whether it be environmental, whether it be cultural, or the biggest thing, whether it be from the media standpoint. Because if you really want to peel that layer back, and because Bondi did production at a news company, I think she can speak on this more than I can. But if you look at videos that, mind you, in the 90s, rap videos, it was a tad bit different because you did see a hell of a lot more chocolate-skinned women. But how that flipped, where it's all racially ambiguous. If you look at news telecasters, if they are African-American, they are fair-skinned. They have certain traits that line up. If you are African American male, your hair is not like this. It is not. Your hair is a fade. You fit a certain stereotype. You don't have all this facial hair. So it's certain things that are put in there. And even with the current how it is today, and I feel so bad for the African American young girls because who do you have to aspire to be? But you see all these racially ambiguous, all these light-skinned women being pushed in the forefront, but you don't see anybody that looks like you. So in your mind, you feel that you have to change up. I mean, the biggest example, I'm going to catch a flack for it, but fuck it. Lil' Kim. Lil' Kim suffers from this a whole lot. And I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Lil' Kim been trying to look like her biggest rival, which is Faith Evans. Tell me that I'm fucking wrong. Please tell me that I'm wrong. Because I know the fuck that I'm not. But this all exists. And I'll be honest, I've actually exuded colorism in high school, where there were certain females that I went to high school with where I'm not gonna lie, yes, some of them more fair-skinned African Americans, because I was brought up to believe that they're more beautiful because they are fair skinned. I fell into that trap. I'm not gonna lie, it took me having to get away from where I was and venture out in the world to really see that that's not true. And even kind of looking at myself, because I would look at some of the light-skinned brothers just like, damn, I don't compare to you because, I mean, well, you got this, you got that. And then when I really started to feel myself like, nigga, you fine in the motherfucker. like what is you tripping for? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it took me a moment. But the thing is, I am man enough to admit that I have pushed the same shit that I'm speaking on right now. It's just a lot of people are not men or woman enough to speak up on it. But I'm a hot potato to Bondi because I'd have brought you up. So go ahead, sweetheart.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that I definitely agree with what you're saying, and it being indoctrinated in the way we think, because I had to counteract it. I have a darker complected mother and a darker complected grandfather. So like growing up, being conscious of that because of them, I counteracted that bullshit. But I definitely felt like when I was growing up that when B2K was out, because I'm telling my age, but Lil Fizz was the shit back then. Okay? Girl, you better have your B2K shirt on right now. Listen. But like Lil Fizz was the shit. And even the girls that I was dating at the time, child, reflected that visual until I decided, you know what? Yeah, no, I need to change this up. And I made a conscious effort to change how I thought about that. And that's how I started to date more brown-skinned people. And that kind of became my preference, in all honesty. But I'm going to just say this. Giselle, like Wendy said, brings nothing else to the table besides being a bitch and being a light-skinned, fair-skinned woman who feels entitled to shit. And that is why she is so bothered by Monique. Okay? And also, if it wasn't for the fact that the other girls fall in line, then we wouldn't even have this dynamic. But Wendy comes on the show, and what does she do? Fall in line. Ashley, what does she do? Fall in line. Monique and Candace, at one point or another, what do y'all do? Fall in line. And that's because everybody, in one way or another, is indoctrinated into this bullshit. So y'all may not want to see it, but I told Monique myself because she didn't see it. And I told her, it may not be with the way that they treated you or the way you treat other ladies. But last season, the way they treated Candace made me feel like it was definitely colorism because y'all expected Candace to apologize and y'all did not give Ashley that same energy. And I felt like it was because Ashley is light-skinned and so she is entitled to get away with the shit. But Candace, being brown-skinned, oh no, she needs to apologize. That's why I didn't like when they called Wendy aggressive for being mad at Monique about not extending that invitation. When I was growing up, if you extend the invitation to one person to bring their baby, you extend it to the other person. And I had said that time and time again that fight was Monique's fault to me. And it didn't have nothing to do with nobody being aggressive.
See,
right. I guess now that you broke it down, it makes sense. Like, yeah, it is a little.
I'm glad that you touched on a little bit of like who you prefer when you were dating. I saw somebody in the comments say that Giselle could not be colorist because Jamal Bryant is dark skinned, and I'm paraphrasing what they said. So I don't think a lot of people realize is that colorism doesn't always transfer to who you're dating. Like we said, Giselle wants to feel like she is head honcho in charge. All she wants to feel is that she is the chosen one. So if you know that there are women who you think are somewhat beneath you, or women who can't compete with your physical beauty, if you know that that's the man that they're going for, all you want to do is feel chosen. It's no different than whenever you see dark-skinned men walking around with bad-built white women and women of other colors. It's not because they're beautiful, like non-black women. It's because they want to feel chosen.
Right. And let's not forget these same light-skinned, green-eyed women will go get with a dark-ass man like Jamal and be mad that their baby didn't come out light-skinned. Like, bitch, what?
Mm-hmm. And I don't like that excuse either, because that's the same excuse Vershandia O'Neal punk pussy ass used when it came down to her and her colorism thing. Vershandia's whole thing was, look at my ex-husband. My ex-husband is black as hell. I don't have no problem with black, dark-skinned people. Okay. Bitch, what do you mean? Don't try to act like you did this shit because you really loved them. That wasn't what it was. Because I honestly felt like if he was not destined to be in the NBA of any sort, do y'all really honestly think Vershandia would have been with Shaquille O'Neal if he was a regular nigga working at the damn Sonics?
Fuck no. And I would like to remind everybody that when it comes to meat, all of that colorism shit don't really like the meat is more important is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, and especially in a situation where opposites attract. If you are a lighter complected woman, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna want a darker man because opposites attract. But you still in your mind think you supposed to get some light-skinned baby or some shit like that and be disappointed when you don't. So don't act like the colorism isn't still a real thing just because everybody wants the chocolate dick. Like everybody wants the chocolate.
I mean, well, Gilbert Arenas falls to the same thing with one of the Govan sisters. Because you see, he didn't got her. Which one was it? Laura? Yeah, I think it was Laura. He would have got Laura. Really thinking that he's gonna sit here and have nice mulatto type cheering, and then what you end up getting cheering that look just the fuck like you.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Well, I know that I know what I'm about to say isn't necessarily, it's not directed to colorism at all, because again, I'm ignorant to the whole conversation. So I'm listening to y'all, and y'all are educating me, you know what I mean? Because I really don't understand the whole colorism thing, because due to the fact that I've been accused of being a colorist this whole season, and I always felt like it was, people would call me colorist because I didn't like Wendy, and I respond with, why does that make me colorist when I don't see color when I'm when I'm going into a relationship with a person, or when I'm getting to know someone. It doesn't matter what your shade is, but when I say that, it's like it goes back to the same thing when white people be like, well, I can't be racist because I got black friends. You know what I mean? So I just take it as though I'm just ignorant to the whole colorism conversation, because I've never thought in that manner when it comes down to a person. I don't think about their complexion.
You could dislike Wendy just because she aggravated the shit out of you.
So I had to throw that in.
Like, we could dislike Wendy because she annoying. Like,
right.
I liked her more in Watch What Happens Live the other night than I have this entire season. Like, what does that have to do with her skin tone? We can dislike people without it having something to do with skin tone. What we're talking about is who's being held accountable on the show, and how that changes depending on who you are and what your skin tone looks like. That's
now, Scotty, one thing I'll say to you is, like I said, do I feel that you're colorist? No. But here's one thing that I will say, and this is me telling you man to man, like, be open to the fact that it could be that. I mean, you're still growing as a man. And I mean, like, because you heard me tell my experiences, but it took me a while to get to that place to realize that, you know what, I was colorist once upon a time. But that was me having to admit it. But that's only because I was faced with certain situations that caused me to have to hold a mirror up to myself. So I mean, I'm not saying that you are, but I mean, I think that we all, for the most part, have had a colorist moment at least once in our lives. But I'll just say, continue living. And one of my favorite quotes is by Socrates: "The unreflected life is not worth living." So at least just as you continue to move through life, continue to reflect. And you may see that this situation was this situation was that. But here's the reality. That is the path. As long as you're working towards being a better person, that's all that matters. That, you know, if you feel what I'm saying?
Socrates, Urel, you just
Well, that's
showing the fuck
Yeah,
off, nigga.
no, but I heard his college.
well,
He took it there.
Damn.
I told y'all I know a little something about
Some
something. I
you
tried to
babies
told
or
you.
boys or something. Shit.
well, that's why I'm open to conversations like this. I was even talking about on one of my last lives about doing. You was in that live, Uriel, when I said that I was willing to do another panel in regards to the whole colorism topic because I could be educated on colorism. Because again, like I just said, I don't understand it. I never experienced it. I never looked at anyone and judged them based on their color. So it could be something that's subconsciously, I don't know. So it is what it is. So that I had to bring that out before we move any further. The
And
one thing that I wanted to say
And
is,
I said during
go
that
ahead.
live, like, you know, if you want to, I'm more than willing to come on, you know, because I've done my studies. I'm not one, and this is no shade to anybody, but I'm not part of the majority that I learned about African American history in college because our history was held captive, where the only way you can learn about your history is in college. I've actually learned about African American studies in high school, and I've continued to pursue that education and to teach myself because my thing is this, especially if you don't look like me, you're not going to be able to tell me about my history if you don't look like me. That right there is just facts. But I've done a lot of this research, and I even said, like, if you want me to be on it, like I said, I will be on there if you want me to, because again, you've seen me on the panel the last couple of weeks. I'll give you information from a historical standpoint, whether it be biblical, religious, this or that. I'm willing to help the conversation. So if you want me there, hey, bro, just tell me a date and a time. I got you.
And that's fine with me. I don't mind. But one thing that I was about to say was, hold on one second, because I got a certain text.
Somebody in the chat just called me Yarelcrates. I'm done. I can't.
But yeah, one about it is this right here before we go any further, because it's almost time for us to end. What I want to say is what Bundy said about Wendy and everybody else trying to fall in line with Giselle. That is so funny to me because I felt the same because we mentioned Tammy already. It's so funny because I felt like Tammy used to do the same exact thing. You know what I mean? Like she wanted to be like to be cool with the popular girls and things of that nature. So it's just like Tammy and Monique are pretty much in both. They want to be with the upper echelon, so to speak. That's what she wants to do, and because they're more appealing, it's more numbers. They're doing that. So I definitely agree with that. But due to this text that I got to go. So before you go, I really
Wait a minute.
enjoyed tonight. I everybody. I appreciate everybody coming on. You got anything else? Any last words before we end this? Cause yeah. Go ahead.
Bondi sing. He want the D song for Scotty since he gotta go.
I was just about to say that. We gonna go around and freestyle like Kenny did. What you gonna do?
Yeah, come jump up on it. Yeah, he want the D. Yeah, jump up on it. Right, gotta get with the line, right? Yeah, you can get that D, right? You want the D,
Right. You got your bag packed, Scotty.
Hey.
You got your spend the night bag.
Okay. That whole bag.
I'm not.
Let me see. Where's
I
Come on,
that?
don't be
Jax.
looking around my room, baby.
Yeah, I'm like, where's that spin the night bag at?
Come on, Jack Cook up.
Woo!
Anyway,
I got another
anyway,
earplugs in the comments.
Selena, thank you for the. I see. That's why I'm really finna get the fuck up out here now because they really showing out. But first of all, Sakina, I really appreciate you coming on. It was wonderful. Don't be surprised if you get added as an official person up here because that's the same thing that happened with spilling all the tea. Like he came up here when Bundy wasn't here to cover for her, and everybody liked him, and we all agreed that he would be a great fit to the panel. So don't be surprised if I DM you and say, "Girl, you in the panel," and add you to the group mess. Don't be surprised because I enjoyed all your energy.
Listen, I like to run my mouth. I really appreciate y'all for having me. I had a good time. I thought I was gonna be a lot more reserved than what I actually was. So that's always a good sign.
Wait, my bad. My service is trash in Virginia. Obviously, we ending it. It's over with.
We ending it. We're about to end it right now. But you can say your
Oh,
last
okay. That's
piece,
all
say
I
your
need to
final
know.
word.
Go ahead.
Well,
You ain't got nothing else to say?
I guess I'll say my last rice right quick. So I know a lot of people were upset that I was quite mute last week. That is one because I was waiting for us to get to the big thing of the night, but also I was hungover because I drank 3/4 of a 1.75 liter of spice rum that Saturday, and it carried over until Sunday and Monday. So that's why I didn't drink none except for today. But I wanted to give y'all a little bit extras because you know you're quiet, so I wanted to make sure that I gave you a little extra, and and those of you who enjoyed my little sermon, even though I'm Jewish, but those of you who enjoyed me channeling my inner collection plate, I'm glad that you all enjoyed the little show.
Any
I'm
other
a little
comments? Go
ignorant.
ahead, Tim.
I'm a little ignorant. I never really met a black Jewish person before, so thank you for that. You know, I grew up ignorant. I thought all black people were Baptist, Kojic, and me, Pentecostal, Apostolic. You know, that's just what I thought. But thank you for having me, Scotty. As per usual, this was a lot of fun. I definitely appreciate our guest. She is absolutely gorgeous. I live for the hair. I live for how she talk. I live for the way she think. Shouts out to you. I'm glad that you was here. And shout out to the panel. We always have a good time when we get up here. Shout out to all of us. We did this shit, bitch.
Yeah,
We
definitely.
did. Over 600 people was in here. Josiah, you got anything to say since the people love to say you don't say shit? You got anything to say
Hey,
before we
look,
go?
honestly, I say what I have to say and keep it moving. But nah, it's always cool just chilling, talking with the panel. I'm excited about next week, and I cannot wait till this damn show be over. I'm
Right,
sick of
me.
talking about the fight.
Yes, yes,
Facts.
yes. Okay, I think
Facts.
we all can agree to that. Okay. Well, hold on. Okay, well, with that being said, y'all, I guess we good for tonight. I want to thank everybody once again for being a part of this. Thank you, Uriel. Thank you, Bondi Blue. Thank you, Terrence, Josiah, Nisi, and Sakita for stopping through in the absence of Jamie, which I said you may be invited next week. Cause like I said, I love your energy, like for real, for real. Like I love it, I love it, love it. I've been saying that I was add up out here because I didn't want too many people up here at the same time due to the issues and all that stuff, but it might end up happening, child. So don't be surprised. But
Stay tuned.
with that being said, we out of here, yeah, yeah, stay tuned. We out of here, y'all. Enjoy yourself because I'm definitely about to enjoy myself. So I'll holler at y'all later. Peace out.
Bye.